The sun shines into the recruitment hall of the Science and Technology Park, and the smell of coffee and printing paper fills the air. Yang Ming was wearing a crisp dark blue suit, with his hands in his pockets, standing on the edge of the crowd and scanning the stalls. He is the president of Mingda Technology. His stern face usually makes people afraid to approach him, but today he came to the job fair in person, with a rare look of expectation in his eyes. Mingda Technology is a leading company in this innovation city, specializing in AI and biotechnology. Yang Ming is passionate about new projects, but is tired of empty resumes. His eyes stopped at a stall, and a resume attracted him. Zhang Min, 28 years old, master's degree in bioengineering, majoring in innovative experimental design. The resume stated that she had participated in an open-source project on gene editing, and also attached several experimental photos, which looked full of energy. Yang Ming frowned. Normally HR would screen the candidates, but today he had a whim and decided to interview in person. Su Feng, he turned to the assistant beside him and said, "Bring the person with this resume to the conference room." Su Feng blinked and nodded with a smile. "Boss, what are you interested in? You don't usually care about such trivial matters." Yang Ming ignored him and walked straight to the elevator. Su Feng is his right-hand assistant, always joking but reliable. In the conference room, the air conditioner hummed. When Zhang Min opened the door and walked in, she was wearing a simple white shirt and jeans, her hair tied into a ponytail, and her eyes bright, like a student who had just run out of the laboratory. When she saw Yang Ming, she was slightly startled. She didn't expect that the interviewer was the rumored domineering president. "Miss Zhang, please sit down," Yang Ming said in a low voice and pointed to the chair. Zhang Min sat down and took a deep breath. "Hello, Mr. Yang. I'm Zhang Min. I just saw your company's display board at the booth and thought it was super cool. I read Mingda's AI drug screening system in the paper." Yang Ming raised his eyebrows, not expecting her to be so forthright. Usually applicants are nervous, but she seemed to be chatting. "Oh? What do you think about our biological experiment?" He pushed over a project brief to test her ability. Zhang Min glanced at it and his eyes lit up. "This gene fusion simulator? It sounds like playing Lego, but it is actually very challenging. I think a dynamic feedback loop can be added so that the AI can not only predict but also adjust parameters in real time. It is like the dialectical treatment of traditional Chinese medicine, which is optimized according to environmental changes." As she talked, she drew a simple diagram on the paper, with smooth lines and full of creativity. Yang Ming stared at the piece of paper, the corners of his mouth raised slightly. Her ideas are good, even more cutting-edge than some of the senior engineers on his team. "Interesting. Why do you want to come to Mingda?" "There is a lot of pressure here and the laboratory operates 24 hours a day." Zhang Min smiled. "Pressure? That's what I like. When I was in college, I stayed up late doing experiments, and found a new strain. Although I didn't publish a paper, it felt like winning the lottery. Mingda has the best equipment, and I want to make some big moves here and promote some changes." Yang Ming nodded, his heart moved. Not only is this girl smart, she also loves this business, just like he did when he was young. "Okay, you are admitted. Come and report tomorrow. Su Feng will help you get familiar with the environment." He stood up and handed over his business card. Zhang Min's eyes widened. "So fast? Thank you, Mr. Yang." She took the business card and lightly touched his with her finger. The two of them were stunned, but she quickly took it back and left with a smile. The next day, Zhang Min came to Mingda building early in the morning. The glass curtain walls reflect the neon lights of the city, and drones deliver goods between high-rise buildings. Su Feng was waiting for her at the elevator entrance, wearing a casual suit and smiling. "Welcome, new colleague. I am Su Feng, Mr. Yang's henchman. Come, I will show you around." They went to the tea room first, which was very busy. Li Juan, Zhang Min's new colleague, was chatting over coffee. She is from the marketing department. She has dyed her hair pink and has a cheerful personality. "New here?" "I'm Li Juan, Zhang Min, right? I heard that you stopped Mr. Yang from asking questions during the interview. That's awesome. There are rumors in the company that he is very strict. Last time an engineer was late and was scolded like crazy. Zhang Min chuckled, really? He was quite easy to talk to yesterday. Sisterly Joanne, how is the atmosphere here? Do you have any career secrets? Li Juan blinked. The secret? Drink more coffee and don't mess with Mr. Yang less. He looks cold, but he actually loves the team. Last year, when the company was in crisis, he personally worked overtime to save the project. Everyone said he was a sheep in wolf's clothing. By the way, what do you like to eat? Let's go to the snack street downstairs at noon and try the malatang there, it's amazing. Su Feng interrupted, Li Juan, you are trying to get in the way. On the first day as a newcomer, Mr. Yang will take her to the laboratory. Zhang Min, don't listen to her. The food in the company cafeteria is fine, and Mr. Yang occasionally treats her. Zhang Min nodded, feeling warm in his heart. It's a nice place with a very human touch. Su Feng led her to the laboratory area on the 5th floor. The clean room door slid open automatically. The lights inside were bright and the instruments were humming. Yang Ming was already inside, wearing a white coat and staring at the screen. Zhang Min, you're here early. Su Feng, go and do your business. Su Feng shrugged and whispered to Zhang Min before leaving, Mr. Yang loves science, but he doesn't like to show off. Come on. They were the only two left in the laboratory. Yang Ming handed over a blueprint. This is our core simulator. Let's do a simple demonstration today to test the protein folding algorithm. You are responsible for inputting the parameters, and I will observe it. Zhang Min put on his gloves and sat down in front of the console excitedly. Okay. Mr. Yang, did you know? This thing is like predicting the weather, but for the molecular world. If we add some random mutations, maybe we can simulate new drug effects. Yang Ming leaned against the table and crossed his arms across his chest. Random mutation? The risk is high and the data will be messed up. She turned to look at him, her eyes shining. Risk is interesting. Just like stock trading, you can't make a lot of money with certainty. Give it a try, I promise to have strict logic. She typed on the keyboard, and the molecular model on the screen rotated, and the green curve slowly rose. Yang Ming walked closer and leaned over to look at the screen. His shoulder touched hers lightly, and electricity seemed to flash through the air. The model suddenly jumped and an unexpected folded structure appeared, 20% more stable than expected. What's going on? Yang Ming's voice was low, and his eyes were shining with surprise. Zhang Min turned her head, their faces were very close, and she smelled the faint smell of cologne on his body. Look. Random mutation worked. Mr. Yang, do you usually do experiments like this? I feel like you are very enthusiastic. Yang Ming straightened up and concealed his embarrassment. Passion? This is work. But his heart warmed, and the girl's liveliness was like sunshine, shining into his usual coldness. Normally, he was used to being in control of everything, but her creativity reminded him of his passion for entrepreneurship, the feeling of being ignited. The demonstration is over and the data is saved successfully. Yang Ming took off his gloves. Not bad. You adapt quickly. Su Feng said you have a strong background, and it's true. Zhang Min wiped her sweat and smiled. Thank you, Mr. Yang, for the compliment. I am very happy to be able to cooperate with you. The equipment here is much better than that at school. Li Juan pushed the door open and came in with 2 cups of coffee in her hand. Excuse me. Mr. Yang, Zhang Min, take a rest. The company stipulates that new employees must have a cup of coffee to celebrate on their first day. Zhang Min, just now Su Feng said that you have completed the simulator. Awesome. I'll treat you to lunch next time and let's talk about your interesting experiments. Yang Ming nodded. Li Juan, take her to get familiar with the instrument first. I have something to do. In the afternoon, the laboratory became quiet. Yang Ming watched Zhang Min skillfully operate the centrifuge and thought, this might be a good start. He walked over. Zhang Min, We have a core project about AI-assisted drug development. The competition is fierce, but the potential is huge. Are you willing to join? Starting tomorrow, we will sprint with all our strength. Zhang Min raised his head, his eyes full of expectation. Of course. Mr. Yang, this is my honor. Let's make some big news together. Sunlight streamed in from the window, illuminating their faces. Amidst the hum of the laboratory, a hint of warmth spread quietly. The sunlight streamed in from the floor-to-ceiling windows of the laboratory, making the wrinkles on the white coat shine with golden edges. Zhang Min was still immersed in the excitement just now, and her fingers on the keyboard were trembling slightly. She looked up at Yang Ming. He had turned around and walked towards the workbench, his back straight, like an immobile sculpture. Mr. Yang, where do we start? I went home and read the project blueprint again last night. In the simulation process of AI drug development, we can try to integrate the dynamic loop I mentioned yesterday. Yang Ming stopped, turned around, and frowned slightly. Don't worry. The core is stability. Your idea is creative, but drug development is not a game. If the data is biased, you know the consequences. Last year, a small project of the company burned 5 million because of similar rashness. His tone was unquestionable, and he put his hands on the table and looked down at her. There was a sense of pressure in those eyes, which made the air a little heavier. Zhang Min bit her lip and did not flinch. She pushed away her chair, stood up, and pointed at the model on the screen. Mr. Yang, I understand that stability is important, but if you are always conservative, how can you stay ahead of your competitors? Think about how Huawei has risen. Isn't it just the courage to bet on 5G? Let's add a safety valve to limit the scope of variation and control the risk. Try it once, and if it doesn't work, go back. She said, took out the pen from the drawer, and quickly drew a flow chart on the whiteboard. The lines were concise and powerful, as straightforward as her person. Yang Ming stared at the whiteboard and was silent for a few seconds. Normally, the team members would nod after hearing what he said, but no one had ever been so contradictory, especially the newcomers. But her persistence is not reckless, but backed by logic. His heart moved. This girl was like a stream of clear water, washing away his usual desire for control. Okay, he finally said, his voice softening slightly, we will run a small-scale test tomorrow. But if something goes wrong, you are responsible for explaining it to the investors. Zhang Min's eyes lit up and she couldn't help laughing. No problem. Mr. Yang, you are so domineering like my dad. You always like to dismiss first and then let go. Don't worry. I guarantee that the data is clean. She stretched out her hand and wanted to pat his shoulder, but she retracted halfway and scratched her head in embarrassment. Yang Ming didn't speak, just curled up the corner of his mouth slightly, turned around and continued to adjust the instrument. After the friction, there was a hint of tacit understanding in the air. Zhang Min sat back down and thought to himself, this boss is cold on the outside and hot on the inside. The look in his eyes just now clearly showed approval. She jotted down notes quickly, already processing the test results in her mind. At noon, the laboratory door was pushed open, and Su Feng came in with 2 lunch boxes. He smiled and said, Mr. Yang, Zhang Min, are you hungry? The Kung Pao chicken in the cafeteria is a little spicy today. Li Juan said that newcomers who don't eat spicy food are not wise people. He handed over the lunch box, his eyes wandering between the two, and he noticed that the atmosphere was different. Oh, I just heard from outside that Zhang Min, have you convinced Mr. Yang? It's amazing. I've been in the company for 5 years, and this is the first time I've seen someone dare to argue with him and win. Yang Ming took the lunch box and glanced at him coldly. Stop talking nonsense and eat your food. We have a meeting in the afternoon, so don't be late. But he didn't deny it. He picked up a piece of diced chicken and put it in his mouth, moving a little slower than usual. Zhang Min chuckled. Brother Su, Mr. Yang is actually very easy to talk to. Come, eat, and talk about the project together. I have an idea and I want to hear your opinion. Su Feng sat down and nodded while eating. Okay, you two, together, I feel like the company is going to make a big splash. After the meal, he took Zhang Min to the tea room, where Li Juan was already making tea, her pink hair swaying under the light. "Zhang Min, I heard that you cured Mr. Yang this morning." "Ha, congratulations. He is a tough guy on the outside but soft on the inside. If you communicate with him more, you might get surprises." Zhang Min picked up the tea cup, with hot breath hitting his face. "Sisterly Juan, what you said sounds like a story. Mr. Yang is indeed strict, but professional, and there are sparks in cooperation. I was worried about contradicting him just now, but he agreed to my plan. The first day at work is so exciting." Li Juan came closer and lowered her voice. "It's exciting. How many people in the company wanted to get close to him, but were scared away by cold faces? You are different, straight ball type, I like it. Remember, Mr. Yang loves science, but he also likes to hear new things. Talk more about books, music, etc. He is very literary in private. Come, I will take you to the library in the afternoon, there is a treasure hidden there." At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the work in the laboratory came to an end. Yang Ming took off his white coat and rubbed his eyebrows. "Zhang Min, you need reference materials for your plan. Let's go to the company library to find some books. Su Feng, guard the instrument." Zhang Min was stunned, not expecting that he would personally lead the way. The library is on the 6th floor. When you open the door, a smell of books comes out. The shelves are filled with scientific journals, biological monographs, and several rows of novel sections, like a hidden oasis. Sunlight streamed through the skylight, dust flying in the beam. Yang Ming was familiar with the road, walked to the science and technology area, and pulled out a thick book, Artificial Intelligence and Biological Revolution. The cover was yellowed, and it could be seen that he had read it countless times. This book, written by a professor from MIT, talks about how AI can reshape drug design. Your dynamic loop idea is a bit similar to the case in it. After reading it, we will discuss it tomorrow." Zhang Min took the book, opened a few pages, and her eyes lit up. "Wow, Mr. Yang, the book you recommended is a classic. I heard about this book in school, but I didn't have a chance to read it carefully. Thank you. But..." She turned around and walked to the literature shelf, pulling out a copy of The Worry-Free Grocery Store, a classic by Kigo Higashino. "I also like to read some literature. In this book, there is a scientist character who changes his destiny through letters. It feels a bit like our project. AI is not just a tool, but can also connect people's hearts. Have you read it?" Yang Ming was stunned for a moment, then took the book and relaxed his brows. He thought she only loved professional books, but he didn't expect this side of her. "Kigo Higashino? I've heard of it, but haven't read it. Scientists change fate, interesting. Why did you choose this book? You are so busy at work, but you still find time to read novels?" Zhang Min leaned on the bookshelf and gestured with a smile. "You need to be busy. I have done too many experiments and my brain is stuck, so I rely on books to relieve stress. This book taught me that science is not cold data, but has stories and emotions behind it. Just like you, the CEO, but you have fire in your eyes and love this industry. Mr. Yang, what are your hobbies? Besides work?" Yang Ming stroked the spine of the book with his fingers, feeling warm in his heart. Normally, no one would ask him about personal matters like this. He was used to hiding his tenderness, but her eyes were so sincere, as if she was inviting him to take off his armor. "Hobby? Occasionally listen to classical music, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Relieve stress. What about you? Besides literature? Music? I love Jay Chou's songs so much. Like Daoxiang, listening to it makes me want to go home and farm, forget about the failure of the experiment." Zhang Min hummed a few words, his voice was clear and a little playful. "Mr. Yang, have you tried Chinese pop? I will recommend it to you next time, maybe it can soften your domineering mode." Yang Ming couldn't help but chuckle, and the smile was like a spring breeze blowing on his face, instantly closing the distance. He put the book back on the shelf and said in a much softer voice, "Okay, let's try it next time. Zhang Min, you are not only smart, but also interesting. It's a pleasure to work with you. The two walked out of the library side by side, the smell of books still lingering around their clothes. Zhang Min's heartbeat accelerated slightly, and Yang Ming's side face, under the corridor light, was less cold and more gentle. She thought, this charm is so hidden. Su Feng was waiting at the elevator entrance. When he saw the curve of the corners of Yang Ming's mouth, his eyes narrowed. In private, he grabbed Yang Ming and teased in a low voice, "Boss, how many times have you laughed today? Are you going to the library with Zhang Min to talk about work or heart-to-heart? Be careful, I have to report to Li Juan, this is company gossip." Yang Ming glared at him, but was not angry. "Shut up. Concentrate on your work." But he admitted in his heart that this change was sudden, but not bad. Li Juan met Zhang Min again in the tea room and blinked. "How was it? Did your trip to the library go well? Mr. Yang is the most relaxed in front of the bookshelf. Go there a few more times and I will ensure that you two change from partners to confidants. When I see your eyes, sparks are flying." Zhang Min blushed and took the coffee to cover it up. "Sister Li Juan, you are thinking too much. But, the book he recommended is really good. Will you continue the project in the afternoon?" As the sun sets, the building's glass walls turn orange-red. The lights in the laboratory came on again, and Yang Ming and Zhang Min sat back on the console side by side, with occasional smiles mixed in with the discussion. The project is progressing smoothly, and the warmth in the air is spreading quietly. It was dark, and the light from the laboratory reflected on the glass window, like a lonely planet. As a few days passed, the cooperation between Yang Ming and Zhang Min became more and more tacit. The project is progressing smoothly, the data from small-scale testing exceeded expectations, and the team was relieved by the drug stability simulated by AI. It has become normal for them to work overtime. After others get off work, the laboratory becomes their private domain. The graphs on the screen flashed, and the sound of Zhang Min typing on the keyboard was mixed with Yang Ming's whispered guidance. Occasionally, one or two chuckles broke out, breaking the silence of the night. That night, it was already past 11 o'clock. Zhang Min rubbed her eyes and stretched. "Mr. Yang, today's data processing is completed. You can run the complete simulation tomorrow. Aren't you tired? I've been working overtime for 3 consecutive days and I'm almost turning into a night owl." She turned to look at him. He was staring at the screen. His tie was half loosened and his shirt sleeves were rolled up, revealing his strong forearms. His usually stern image now has a hint of tired kindness. Yang Ming turned off the computer, stood up, and rubbed his eyebrows. "It's not bad. Your dynamic loop design helped a lot." After listening to the report, the investors nodded more than before. He paused, and his eyes fell on the coffee cup between them. That cup was given by Li Juan at noon, and it was now completely cold. "Are you hungry? There is no midnight snack in the laboratory. Come, I will take you to the company kitchen to get something to eat. Don't tell me that you don't eat midnight snacks when you work overtime. That is not what a scientist should do." Zhang Min's eyes lit up. She didn't expect him to take the initiative to mention this. On weekdays, he is always in workaholic mode, and I have never seen such a considerate side. "Wow, Mr. Yang, you know how to cook? Come on, I'm hungry. But don't make it too complicated. My cooking skills are average, so don't ruin your kitchen." The two left the laboratory and the elevator went directly to the underground kitchen. The company's kitchen is a benefit for employees. It is spacious and bright, equipped with complete appliances and food cabinets, like a small restaurant. There is no one around late at night, the lights are soft, and the aroma of coffee from the day still lingers in the air. Yang Ming was familiar with the food, opened the refrigerator, and took out eggs, vegetables and rice. "Easy, let's have egg fried rice. Add some chopped green onion to satisfy your craving. You chop the vegetables, and I'll shovel them." Zhang Min rolled up her sleeves, took the kitchen knife, and started chopping green onions with a smile. "Mr. Yang, you are making arrangements like a husband taking his wife to cook." "Wait, I'm kidding. My mother taught me how to fry rice when I was a child. She said that the kitchen is the laboratory of the family. If you are not careful, it will explode. She cut while talking. With neat movements, the green onions emitted the fragrance, and the kitchen suddenly became lively. Yang Ming lit the fire and heated the pot. When pouring the oil, he looked back at her and raised the corner of his mouth. Explosion? Then your mother's laboratory is much more dangerous than ours. In the early days of my business, I also tried cooking noodles in a small rental house, but the pot burned. Since then, I have learned basic survival skills. He poured in the rice, flipped the shovel, and moved like a professional chef. The oil smoke rises, the egg liquid sizzles, and the aroma fills the air. Zhang Min came closer to smell it. His eyes turned into crescent moons. It smells delicious. Mr. Yang, with your skills, you can definitely open a restaurant. Oh, by the way, when I was a child, I loved to have fun with my parents in the kitchen. My dad was an engineer and always liked to compare vegetables to parts, saying, "This green pepper is a snail. It needs to be tightened and stir-fried." Once I secretly added chili peppers, and he stuck out his tongue while eating. At that time, I felt that home was like this, messy but warm. She said, passing on the chopped green onion, and they touched it with their fingers. Her heart warmed, and she didn't withdraw her hand. Yang Ming took it, mixed the rice well, and said in a low but gentle voice, "It sounds good." I didn't have this opportunity when I was a child. My parents were busy with their careers and we stayed at home since I was a child. After starting a business, I didn't have time to think about these things. When I was stressed, I would stay up late alone and eat instant noodles while working. Last year, the company was in crisis. The investment was withdrawn, and I couldn't sleep well for a month. I always felt that everything was going to collapse. He turned around and looked at her, with a rare hint of vulnerability in his eyes. But now, with a partner like you, your vitality is much like home at that time. Zhang Min was stunned, not expecting him to open his heart. The kitchen light reflected on his face, softening the edges. She said softly, "Mr. Yang, you are working too hard. Starting a business is not easy, but don't carry it alone. The company is not your empire alone, we are all partners. Just like this fried rice, it is too bland to cook alone, so I need to add some of your chopped green onions and my eggs to make it more fragrant." She laughed out loud, her voice clear and crisp, like a bell reverberating in the kitchen, diluting the heaviness just now. Yang Ming chuckled and took out 2 plates of hot egg fried rice. "Yes, add a little bit of your frankness and it will be perfect. Come on, have a try." He handed over the chopsticks and the two of them sat side by side at the bar, steam rising. Zhang Min took a bite and narrowed his eyes. "Yeah. It's so delicious. Mr. Yang, your overbearing CEO mode has transformed into the god of cooking mode. You are invincible." Just as she was eating hard, the kitchen door was suddenly pushed open. Li Juan rubbed her eyes and walked in with her mobile phone in her hand. "Oh, who is stealing a late-night snack here? They came here after smelling the aroma." "Huh? Zhang Min? Mr. Yang?" Her eyes widened, her pink hair swayed in the light, and she instantly transformed from sleepy to a gossip queen. "Wow, what's going on? A late-night date in the kitchen? Mr. Yang, are you cooking the food yourself? Zhang Min, you two are making great progress. The company gossip group is going to blow up, I have to write it down." Zhang Min almost choked, coughed twice, and blushed. "Sister Juan, why did you come to the company in the middle of the night? We were just hungry after working overtime, and Mr. Yang was kind enough to treat us. Don't think too much." She put a piece of rice into her mouth to cover up her embarrassment. Yang Ming frowned slightly, but was not angry. He just pushed the plate over and said, "Li Juan, sit down and have something to eat. Stop gossiping and focus on your work." His tone was a little doting, as if he was coaxing a child on the team. Li Juan giggled, sat down and took a bite. "Mr. Xia. Mr. Yang, your fried rice is top-notch. Zhang Min, tell me, sister, what's going on with you two? After that trip to the library, I heard Su Feng say that Mr. Yang was smiling a lot. Hey, Mr. Yang is cold on the outside and hot on the inside. I can tell it already. your direct attack is perfect. But be careful, he is under great pressure to start a business, don't let him be too tired. By the way, there is an event in the marketing department tomorrow, I will take you there, and gossip more. Zhang Min stole a glance at Yang Ming and replied with a smile, sister, you are such a dedicated bestie. Mr. Yang is really great, and we work together smoothly. I will pay attention to the pressure. Li Juan's intrusion made the kitchen more lively. The three of them chatted while eating. Li Juan shared anecdotes about the company, such as Su Feng's last embarrassing incident when he failed to chase a girl, which made Zhang Min bend over with laughter. Yang Ming's phone shook. It was a message from Su Feng, boss, I heard that you and Zhang Min worked overtime until late at night? In the kitchen? Ah, good progress. Suggestion, don't be too domineering, listen to her more. Relationships are like projects, they must be pushed forward steadily. Come on, I support you. Yang Ming glanced at it, raised the corner of his mouth, and replied, mind yourself. But he admitted in his heart that this boy was right. Zhang Min's appearance made him feel relaxed that he had not seen for a long time. Li Juan had eaten enough and blinked, I'm leaving, you two can continue to be sweet. Remember, Zhang Min, Mr. Yang's weakness is music, try humming a song next time. She slipped out, leaving Zhang Min and Yang Ming looking at each other. Zhang Min scratched his head, Mr. Yang, Sister Li Juan is always making trouble. Come on, after finishing this plate, let's go back to the laboratory. We have to get up early tomorrow. Yang Ming took the last bite and handed it to her, eat together. Thank you, have a good chat tonight. As they left the kitchen, the clock tower chimes faintly sounded, and it was already midnight. Zhang Min followed Yang Ming, and the lights in the elevator reflected his profile. She was still recalling the warmth of the plate of egg fried rice. Back in the laboratory, the two simply cleared the table, and Yang Ming handed her a bottle of water, go to bed early. I have to show up at the marketing department's promotional event tomorrow. Come, too, and relax your mind. Zhang Min nodded, and when he picked up his bag and left, he couldn't help but look back and smile, Mr. Yang, good night. Remember, you are not a Superman, so you have to sleep. Early the next morning, the company building was bustling. The marketing department set up a temporary studio in the lobby on the top floor, equipped with lights, cameras and green screens, like a small movie studio. This was to promote Mingda Technology's new AI drug project, and several media were invited to film interviews and team footage. Zhang Min was immersed in data in the laboratory when Li Juan suddenly broke in and took her arm, Min, let's go. Mr. Yang asked you to help on the set, saying that you understand the project and can be a temporary commentator. Don't refuse, this is a good opportunity to show your face. Before Zhang Min could react, he was dragged to the elevator by Li Juan. In the laboratory, Yang Ming was staring at the screen, frowning. After returning home last night, he received an urgent email from Su Feng. The data from a set of small-scale tests deviated by 5%, and the drug stability curve showed slight fluctuations. It's not a big problem, but the investors will have a meeting tomorrow. If this little tale is not dealt with, the report will have to be rewritten. He rubbed his temples and muttered to himself, damn, where did this go wrong? The pressure came like a tide. He was used to carrying it alone, but Zhang Min's smiling face last night flashed in his mind, and he thought that maybe he should talk to her. On the set, the lights were dazzling and the staff were rushing back and forth. Yang Ming appeared in a suit with a strong aura. Media reporters immediately gathered around him and flashed their lights. Zhang Min stood on the side, watching him cope with it with ease, but noticed the fatigue in his eyes. She bit her lip and took the initiative to step forward. Mr. Yang, good morning. Li Juan said you wanted me to help? I heard Su Feng mention something about the data. The deviation is that the edge conditions of the simulated loop were not calibrated, which I suspected last night. Give me half an hour and I will go back to the laboratory to adjust the parameters. Yang Ming turned to look at her, his eyes brightened, and he lowered his voice. You noticed it too? Okay, come to the rest area with me. Take a breath first, there are too many media here. He naturally blocked in front of her, led her around the crowd, and walked to the rest area at the back of the set. There were a few sofas and a coffee machine there, so no one would disturb them for the time being. It was like a little secret corner. Yang Ming sat down and loosened his tie. "Thank you, Zhang Min. It's a lot of pressure. This project is the company's trump card this year. If the deviation is spread, the stock price will tremble." Zhang Min poured 2 cups of coffee and handed him one. Her skirt swayed slightly when she sat down. "Mr. Yang, don't worry. Science is all about trial and error. I remember when I was in college, the first experimental data was ridiculously wrong, and the instructor said, 'The deviation is the teacher, not the enemy. We will check it step by step and make sure to solve it before noon. Please relax first, this set is like filming an idol drama. I almost want to be an extra.'" She blinked, and her tone was brisk, with a bit of frankness of a Beijing girl, which instantly diluted the tension in the air. Yang Ming took the coffee, took a sip, and raised the corners of his mouth slightly. "Idol drama? Then I have to be the male protagonist, and you are the female supporting role? To be honest, your optimism can always resolve troubles. After the meal in the kitchen last night, I slept well. Come, tell me about your work experience. This project has been talking about from the bookshelf to now, and it feels like a marathon." Zhang Min leaned on the sofa, hugging his knees with his hands, and his eyes were bright. "What do you think? Just enjoy the process. As a scientist's assistant, the coolest thing is to see the data change from a mess to a clear curve, like a puzzle piece. Mr. Yang, what about you? How did you cope with the crisis in the early days of starting a business? I heard from Li Juan that you stayed up late alone to revise the plan, which is simply a legend." While they were chatting, Su Feng came over with a tray with several sandwiches and juice on it. He sat down and interjected with a smile, "Boss, Miss Zhang, I'm here to replenish supplies. The studio is busy here, and the media is asking questions. I just blocked a reporter and said that you two are a golden partner." "Ha, it sounds like a couple." Su Feng is an old employee of the company, and humor is his signature. He winked and handed over passing the sandwich. "Here, have something to eat. Mr. Yang, you are under great pressure. Do you remember the anecdote I told you last time? 3 years ago, when the company was filming a promotional video, you, the boss, accidentally tripped over a light stand while wearing a suit and smashed the camera. The result was edited into a dynamic debut, and investors praised you for being energetic after watching it. Crisis must be transformed in this way." Yang Ming glared at him, but was not really annoyed. He took the sandwich and took a bite. "Su Feng, your mouth will sell the company sooner or later." To be serious, it was really embarrassing that time, but it also united the team. "Zhang Min, don't believe him, this kid loves to add fuel and jealousy." Su Feng laughed and patted Yang Ming on the shoulder. "Boss, this is humor therapy. Miss Zhang, did you know that Mr. Yang looks domineering but is actually soft-hearted? When the crisis came, he asked for leave privately." Zhang Min listened with rapt attention and laughed out loud. "Brother Su, your anecdotes sound like a talk show. Mr. Yang, it sounds like you are an invisible warm man. Hey, speaking of crisis, I have a little secret. When I was a child, I was afraid of the dark, and my parents were on business trips, so I would hide under the quilt and fantasize about being a detective and solving the dark crisis. When I grow up, deviations in experimental data have become my detective game. If you are optimistic, there is always a solution." At this time, Li Juan ran over from the other side of the set, her pink scarf flying in front of the fan. She squeezed into the rest area and held Zhang Min's hand excitedly. "Min. What are you two talking about?" "Mr. Yang, I just bragged to the media and said that our project is so awesome. By the way, Mr. Yang, do you know Zhang Min's secret hobby? She loves humming. When she was working overtime in the lab in college, she would sing Jay Cho while typing on the keyboard, and her voice was as sweet as sugar. Especially Daoxiang, it is healing to listen to. Min, would you like to play a piece for Mr. Yang to listen to?" Zhang Min blushed and pushed her arm. "Sister Li Juan, why did you betray me? Mr. Yang, don't listen to her. I am an average singer, so I just entertain myself. My secret hobby is reading, actually. After selecting books on the bookshelf, I discovered you also love science fiction, and I feel much closer. Li Juan smiled and said, "Oh, don't be shy. Mr. Yang, you have good music taste, right?" "Sister Li Juan, come on, Min, hum a few words." Yang Ming looked at Zhang Min's red face, softened in his heart, and said softly, "Sing, let me listen. Music is a good thing when you are stressed." "Su Feng, Li Juan, you too, don't make trouble, give her space." Zhang Min hesitated and hummed the melody of Daoxiang softly, "Love this land deeply. Go home, return to the original beauty." The voice was clear, with the purity of a laboratory girl. The air in the rest area seemed to have been washed, and Yang Ming's shoulders relaxed slightly. He closed his eyes and listened, and the hardships of starting a business and the warmth now came to his mind. Yes, it sounds like returning to his hometown. "Zhang Min, your voice is magical. Where's your dream? To be a scientist, has it been your dream since you were a child?" Zhang Min stopped humming and her eyes sparkled. "Well, when I was a child, I saw my parents experimenting in the kitchen, so I wanted to engage in scientific research and change the world. There are many challenges, but with a team, you are not afraid. Mr. Yang, what about you? What is the dream behind controlling an empire? I heard Su Feng said that you love AI because you want technology to warm people's hearts, right?" Yang Ming nodded and said in a low voice, "Yes, I have been boarding since I was a child, and my dream is to build an empire where I am not alone. When the company crisis comes, I always want to stand alone, but now, with you, it feels different. Challenges are opportunities, and biased data, we can solve it together." He paused, his eyes gentle. "Zhang Min, thank you for your optimism. It allows me to see the other side." While the chat was going on, there was sudden noise outside the set. A media reporter broke into the rest area and went straight to Zhang Min with a microphone. "Ms. Zhang, I heard that you are Mr. Yang's new assistant. Is there any inside story about this project? Are there rumors of skewed data? Are investors about to withdraw?" The flashlight flashed. Zhang Min was stunned and took half a step back. Yang Ming stood up instantly, his tall figure blocked in front of her. His voice was cold but restrained. "Mr. Reporter, please respect yourself. This is internal data, no explanation is needed. Zhang Min is a member of my team, not the focus of the news. Su Feng, Li Juan, see the guests off." His overbearingness was like a shield, gentle and inviolable. The reporter was half pushed and half taken away by Su Feng and Li Juan, and calm returned to the rest area. Zhang Min's heartbeat quickened and she looked at him. "Mr. Yang, thank you. You were so handsome just now." Yang Ming turned around and touched her shoulder gently. "Don't be afraid, I'm here. The workplace is like a battlefield, and I protect my partners." At this moment, the warmth in the air was stronger, their eyes intertwined, and their feelings were rising quietly like a data curve. Su Feng poked his head from the door. "Boss, good news. Miss Zhang's troubleshooting worked, the deviation was calibrated, and the data is stable. There is no problem in the report at noon." Li Juan clapped her hands. "That's great. Min, you are a hero. Mr. Yang, are you celebrating tonight? Keep singing." Yang Ming smiled and pulled Zhang Min to stand up. "Go back to the laboratory to confirm first." "Zhang Min, together?" She nodded and followed him. The lights of the studio lengthened their shadows, and the romance in the workplace continued to play like an unfinished song. When they returned to the laboratory, the door opened and the aroma of morning coffee still lingered in the air. The data curve on the screen was as smooth as the surface of a lake, and the deviation was completely smoothed out by Zhang Min's investigation. Yang Ming stood in front of the table, holding the edge with both hands, staring at the monitor for a long time, then turned and said to her, "Perfect. Zhang Min, your techniques are always so precise, as if you were weaving an impeccable network." There was a rare ease in his voice, and his eyes inadvertently glanced at a strand of messy hair on her forehead. The hair swayed slightly under the light, making him feel an inexplicable tenderness in his heart. He suddenly realized that in the past few days, he had begun to pay attention to her small movements, the concentration when she bit her lip and thought, the fine lines at the end of her eyes when she smiled, and even the slightly raised corners of her mouth when she hummed. These details, like data points, quietly pieced together a picture that he couldn't take his eyes away from. Zhang Min wiped her hands, picked up her bag, and turned back with a smile. "Mr. Yang, thank you for the award. This is a team effort. The data is stable, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Are you still busy on the set? I'll go back to the office to help Li Juan organize the promotional materials," she said, turned to leave, but heard Yang Ming clearing his throat. "Wait a minute. In the evening, sir, the company has an internal concert, which is organized by the marketing department to relieve the pressure of the project. It is simple for the employees to entertain themselves and sing. Come and relax. Listening to Daoxiang is healing." His invitation sounded casual, but there was a hint of expectation in his domineering tone. Zhang Min was stunned, and his cheeks became slightly warm again. "Concert? Mr. Yang, are you going too? It sounds like a university club event. I don't know how to perform on stage, so I just listen to it from the audience." Yang Ming shook his head, with a smile on his lips. "It's okay to be in the audience. But there's a rest area backstage to avoid the crowd. Let's go, starting at 6 o'clock. See you in the lobby." He didn't give her any room to refuse, turned around and tapped on the keyboard, ending the topic. Zhang Min walked out of the laboratory, her heart buzzing like a gently plucked string. "Mr. Yang, is this an invitation?" She shook her head and quickened her pace to find Li Juan, but she couldn't help but replay his look just now in her mind. The afternoon went by quickly. Zhang Min was immersed in the data report, while Li Juan was like an excited bird, breaking into gossip from time to time. Min, I heard that Mr. Yang personally asked you to go to the concert. Wow, this is an upgraded version of a date." I was stunned by the protective scene on the set. "He looks domineering and handsome, but on the inside he is as gentle as marshmallows. You two are a perfect match." Zhang Min pushed her, she blushed and whispered, "Sister Li Juan, don't talk nonsense. It's just a team activity. He is under a lot of pressure, so I just sing to relieve boredom." Li Juan blinked and whispered closely, "To relieve boredom? Huh, I think it is to relieve the knot. I remember when you were in college, you hummed a song to chase a boy, but the guy immediately confessed to you. Mr. Yang must have been attracted to you after hearing you sing. Go ahead and wear that blue skirt to show off your temperament." At 6 o'clock, the company hall lights up. The concert was a temporary stage, the background was a continuation of the green screen studio, and the lighting engineer borrowed equipment from the promotional film to create a dreamy atmosphere. The employees were in groups, chatting over glasses of juice, some playing guitar, others humming folk songs. Yang Ming appeared in a casual shirt, less sharp than a suit and more friendly. He scanned the crowd and quickly located Zhang Min. She was indeed wearing a blue skirt, standing next to Li Juan, smiling and chatting with her colleagues. The skirt swayed slightly under the light, making his throat tighten. Why is her smile so bright today? Is it because of the music, or him? Su Feng came up, patted him on the shoulder, and whispered, "Boss, the opportunity has come. Miss Zhang's singing voice will never be forgotten once you hear it. Didn't you invite her here just to hear more? Don't hide your thoughts. The crisis has been resolved, and the relationship should move forward. Remember what I suggested last time. That's where the charm of a domineering president lies." Yang Ming glanced at him and lowered his voice. "Su Feng, you're here again. It's just a concert." But he knew in his heart that Su Feng was right. He was used to controlling everything, but in front of Zhang Min, he began to hesitate whether he should take that step. The corporate empire is stable, but emotions are like uncalibrated data, full of variables. Yang Ming walked over and handed Zhang Min a glass of juice naturally. "Here we come. The stage is lively, and the backstage should be quiet. Let's go there." Zhang Min took the cup, and his fingertips accidentally touched his hand, and there was a flash of electricity. She nodded and followed him through the crowd. Li Juan winked from behind and gestured silently. Come on. Hum a song to tease him. The backstage was an extension of the studio. There were several folding chairs and audio equipment behind the curtain, and the lights were soft, blocking out the hustle and bustle outside. Yang Ming sat down and loosened his cufflinks. This place is like a small fortress. The employees sing hard. I just want to listen. What about you? Are you still singing? Zhang Min sat down, spread out her skirt, and shook her head with a smile. Mr. Yang, tell me first. What is music to you? What did you listen to relieve stress when you were starting a business? Yang Ming leaned on the back of the chair and looked at the stage between the curtains. When I was a child, my parents were busy, so I listened to old tapes by myself. Jay Chou's Chili Xiang, it sounds like the summer wind, blowing away loneliness. Later, when I started my business and was stressed, I also hummed a few words. I didn't expect you to love these too. He said, his eyes softened. Zhang Min's singing was still echoing in his ears last night, reminding him of those nights when he stayed up late, and it was no longer so cold. Zhang Min's eyes lit up. Chili Xiang? I love it so much. The brisk melody, like the feeling when an experiment is successful. Come on, Mr. Yang, let's hum a part. Chat about the project while humming, maybe inspiration will come to you. Without waiting for his answer, she took the initiative to clear her throat and hummed softly. The sparrows outside the window are talkative on the telephone poles. You tell me, I tell you, there is a tacit understanding that cannot be practiced. The voice was like a stream, clear and full of vitality, and the air backstage was instantly lively. Yang Ming was stunned, the corners of his mouth raised involuntarily, and then continued in a low voice, there is someone who loves you deeply, don't let this feeling slip away. Their voices intertwined, Zhang Min's sweetness matched with his low voice, like an impromptu chorus. Humming the chorus, their eyes met inadvertently, and at that moment, sparks flew. Her pupils reflected his figure, and his eyes were full of tenderness. Yang Ming's heart skipped a beat. This feeling was like the peak of a data curve and could not be ignored. Li Juan suddenly poked her head out from behind the curtain and excitedly added to the flames, wow! You two are perfect for the chorus. Min, keep going, Mr. Yang's voice is so magnetic. This is a romantic set, right? Mr. Yang, don't stop, express your feelings. She giggled and handed over a bottle of water. Drink some, don't faint from singing. I will go to the stage to help you and make sure not to let reporters intrude. Li Juan blinked and left, leaving the two of them in an awkward but sweet atmosphere. Zhang Min blushed and lowered her head. Sister Li Juan is too noisy. Mr. Yang, I'm sorry, but it's so comfortable to sing. Hey, speaking of tacit understanding, isn't it the same for our project? We had fried rice in the kitchen last night and calibrated the data today. It feels like work and life are integrated. Yang Ming nodded and took advantage of the opportunity to bring the topic closer. Yes. Try singing and brainstorming at the same time? Love is eternal and Chili Xiang is like our AI medicine, stable and long-lasting. The deviation is solved. How to optimize the next step? Add a music algorithm to simulate mood swings? Employees are under great pressure if the medicine can be integrated into rhythm therapy. He hummed a melody as he spoke, tapping the rhythm with his fingers on his knees. Zhang Min's eyes lit up and he answered excitedly, genius idea. Imagine that the music waveform is transformed into a drug release curve, a light melody to relieve stress, and a heavy bass to calm the mind. Mr. Yang, let's try simulation. When humming, your brain storms, and you feel a steady stream of ideas. They hummed another piece and discussed while singing. Zhang Min proposed using Jay Chou's rhythm to calibrate the AI feedback, and Yang Ming added the integration of biomarkers. Work and music are intertwined, and the spark of love quietly heats up in the brainstorm, like a chemical reaction in a laboratory, sweet and uncontrollable. At the end of the concert, the employees sang Friends together on the stage and received thunderous applause. Yang Ming and Zhang Min walked out from the backstage. The night wind blew and the tall buildings outside the hall were brightly lit. Su Feng waited at the door, leaned close to Yang Ming and whispered, "Boss, I heard the chorus backstage just now." You are full of heart. Don't struggle, say it during a walk. The company crisis is over, and relationships should blossom. Miss Zhang is optimistic. You are domineering, gentle and perfect. Yang Ming patted him on the shoulder and whispered, I know. You go first. Su Feng left with a smile, leaving the two of them behind. Take a walk? Yang Ming turned to Zhang Min with a gentle voice, the concert is over and my mind is clear. Take a walk to digest the ideas. Zhang Min nodded, his heart beating like a drum. She followed him and walked along the tree-lined avenue next to the company. The night wind blew in her face and the street lamps stretched their shadows. The chorus just now was still in her ears, and she secretly glanced at the side of his face. The lines were firm but soft. My heart became like a tidal wave. Mr. Yang was not only his boss, but also the man who opened his heart while humming. Why invite me? Is it because of the song, or? She bit her lip and didn't say anything. Yang Ming's heart was like a storm. He paid attention to the briskness of every step she took, the rhythm of every breath she took, and her good feelings were rising like data, but mixed with struggle. The corporate empire is huge. What should I do if my relationship goes awry? He is used to being domineering, but gentleness makes him afraid of losing control. He stopped and looked at her. Zhang Min, tonight, thank you. Your singing evokes many memories. The road to entrepreneurship is lonely, but now, with you, it feels different. When the words came to his lips, he swallowed them back and only said softly, see you in the lab tomorrow. Good night. Zhang Min felt warm in his heart, nodded and smiled, good night, Mr. Yang. They continued walking, and in the night, the curve of emotion climbed quietly, indicating more tests and sweetness. Early the next morning, the sun shone into the Mingda Technology Building. Zhang Min opened the door of the laboratory, holding 2 cups of hot soy milk and fried dough sticks in his hand. She couldn't sleep last night, and her mind was filled with Yang Ming's deep voice when he sang Qili Xiang. The gentleness in his eyes, like the lights in the night, made her heart warm. After the walk, she thought everything would go back to work, but when she woke up, she found that her feelings for him were like fermented dough, swelling more and more. She shook her head, laughed at herself for overthinking, put breakfast on the table, and typed on the keyboard to wake up the computer. Yang Ming was already inside, wearing a dark blue shirt with his sleeves rolled up to his elbows, staring at the notebook where he had brainstormed last night. Hearing the knock on the door, he raised his head and his eyes unconsciously stopped on her face. The blue dress last night was replaced by a simple white t-shirt, but it still made him look twice. Morning. Soy milk? And fried dough sticks? He walked over, took the cup, and touched her hand lightly with his fingertips again. The familiar electric current made his heart beat slightly. He cleared his throat to cover up his embarrassment. The idea was good last night. I'll go to the library today to find some books and supplement information on music therapy and AI integration. Let's go, we'll set off at noon. Zhang Min nodded and his eyes lit up. Okay. Mr. Yang, after taking a walk last night, I was still thinking about the rhythm calibration. There is a copy of Music in the Brain in the medical section of the library. I heard it is very practical. The fried dough sticks are hot, eat them, don't be hungry and have a brainstorm. She took a bite of her own and looked at him with a smile. Yang Ming chewed the fried dough sticks, the corners of his mouth raised slightly. This woman always cared about people so naturally, which made the wall in his heart that had been blocked for many years loosen a little bit. A trace of warmth flashed in his heart. In the past, he was used to carrying it alone, but now, with her around, life seems to have an extra layer of filters. At noon, they drove to the Science and Technology Library in the city center. This is the knowledge fortress of the innovation capital, with towering glass walls reflecting sunlight and bookshelves lined with bookshelves like endless databases. Yang Ming led Zhang Min straight to the intersection of medicine and technology, and the air was filled with the fragrance of ink from the pages of the book. He casually pulled out a book called Biological Rhythm and Drug Release and opened the page. Look, here it is mentioned that music waveforms affect neurotransmitters. Like the song Qili Xiang we sang last night, the brisk rhythm can simulate the release of dopamine. His voice was low and excited, and his domineering aura became much softer among the bookshelves. Zhang Min came closer, lightly touched his arm with her shoulder, took the book and pointed to a passage. Yes. Mr. Yang, look here, the author uses Jay Chou's song as a case study. It is said that the ups and downs of the chorus are like heart rate curves, which can stabilize emotions. With this module of our AI medicine, when employees are stressed, listening to the song will relieve them. Come, chat while choosing a book. I'm looking for someone in music psychology. She turned around and tiptoed on the bookshelf, reaching for a book high up, her skirt swaying slightly. Yang Ming looked at her back, feeling protective in his heart, and took it down for her. This one? Melody Healing. You are always so positive and make the project come alive. When he handed the book, his eyes inadvertently locked on her lips, and the curve when he hummed last night made his throat tighten. They sat down against the bookshelf, their knees almost touching. Zhang Min opened the book and said excitedly, Mr. Yang, I heard that you listened to old tapes when you were a child. When you were starting a business, did you have any songs to keep you up late? Like Daoxiang, it was down to earth, reminding yourself not to forget your original intention. Yang Ming leaned on the bookshelf, his eyes soft. Yes. Blue and white porcelain, it sounded like drizzle on the window, calming the mind. In the first year of starting the business, I stared at the data until dawn, and I just hummed this song. Zhang Min, what about you? What do you listen to when the experiment goes wrong? His question is like a test, and there is a desire to close the distance between us. Zhang Min laughed, her eyes curled up. Oh, I was listening to Teresa Ting's The Moon Represents My Heart. It's sweet and relieves frustration. When I was in college, my experiment failed, and my best friend Li Juan took me to a KTV to yell at her all night, and the idea came to me. Mr. Yang, you are used to being domineering, but you have such a gentle side. During the chorus last night, I felt, we are like partners, not only working. She said, her cheeks reddened, and she looked directly at him with a direct look. Yang Ming's heartbeat quickened, this woman could always hit his weak spot. He whispered, partner? More than that. Zhang Min, your straightforwardness makes me want to know more about you. As soon as he finished speaking, his phone rang. It was Su Feng's call. Yang Ming picked up the answer, and his face instantly darkened. What? Project information stolen? Competitor washing technology? Tell me in detail. On the other end of the phone, Su Feng's voice was urgent. Boss, I just discovered that there are abnormal access records on the server. The core data of AI drug formulas was partially leaked. I suspect an insider, and I am checking the IP trace. Are you and Miss Zhang in the library? Come back quickly, this is a big deal. Yang Ming hung up, clenched his fists, and his domineering aura returned like a storm. He turned to Zhang Min with sharp eyes. Zhang Min, after last night's concert, did you touch the terminal? The database access records show that someone logged in late at night. Washing is an old enemy, and this time he went straight to our core module. His tone was questionable, and the shadow of suspicion shrouded the air, making the air solidify. Zhang Min was stunned, and his heart sank. After she got home last night, she did send a message to Li Juan and check the data backup, but that was a normal operation. She straightened up with a firm look. Mr. Yang, I went home after taking a walk last night. I only read the backup report on my phone and did not log into the server. Do you doubt me? Okay, I'll explain. Li Juan asked about the project progress, and I shared public data, which is not confidential. Mr. Yang, do you believe me? We sang Brainstorm last night, and now we are changing the tone? Her voice was straightforward, aggrieved, but not flinching, like the pages on the bookshelf, tough and true. Yang Ming looked at her, struggle flashing in his eyes. Being used to being domineering, he instinctively questioned, but the look in her eyes made him waver. The tenderness from last night was still in his mind, and he took a deep breath. Zhang Min, I am not targeting you. I have to find out the company's crisis. Let's go back to the laboratory. They hurriedly left the library. The atmosphere in the car was awkward. Zhang Min looked out the window, the tall buildings flew by, and felt sour in his heart. the relationship that had just warmed up, encountered a misunderstanding? Yang Ming tightened his grip on the steering wheel, blaming himself in his heart. He couldn't let doubt destroy this trust. He accelerated, the pain of growing up flashing through his mind. In the past, he had to bear the crisis alone, but now, he wanted to give her a hand. Back at the company, the center of the storm was already outside the laboratory door. Su Feng was waiting with his tablet in his arms, while Li Juan held Zhang Min's hand and said urgently, Min, don't panic. Mr. Yang is checking, and I heard Su Feng said it was an external hacker masquerading the IP. Huaxing moved quickly, but our data encryption is strong and the leakage is limited. You talked about the project with me last night. I kept it confidential. Come, have a drink tea, my bestie supports you. I remember when you were misunderstood for plagiarism in an experiment. I stayed up late with you to prove your innocence. It's the same this time. Mr. Yang is cold on the outside and hot on the inside. Li Juan handed over the hot tea with enthusiasm. Zhang Min's eyes warmed, and she hugged her. Thank you, Sister Li Juan, it's great to have you. Su Feng approached Yang Ming and whispered, Boss, we found it. The IP came from an external VPN, but the login time was half an hour after the end of your concert. It's not a mole, it's a commercial spy from China Star. Using social engineering attacks, they sent phishing emails to marketing employees. Miss Zhang is innocent. I have logs to prove that she only read public reports. The crisis is here, let's fight back, upgrade the firewall and add the music therapy module as a bait to lure them in. Yang Ming nodded and breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, Su Feng, you did a good job. He turned around and softened his temper. I'm sorry for asking. I'm used to guarding against everything. But you, come on, let me clarify. He pulled Zhang Min into the small conference room. After closing the door, he held her hand domineeringly but gently. Zhang Min, Su Feng found out. It was not you, it was an external attack. I was wrong. When I am under pressure, I become paranoid, but you are straightforward and make me learn to trust. The chorus last night was not fake. Let's bear this crisis together. The knot in Zhang Min's heart was instantly relieved, but she smiled. Mr. Yang, thank you. It's the misunderstanding that matters. I believe you, from the time of protection to now. You are always so reliable. Where is the kitchen? I'll cook a simple meal. They moved to the kitchen in the company's break room, which is an employee-only area. It's small and warm, like a corner of home. Yang Ming rolled up his sleeves and took the initiative to help for the first time. I'll chop vegetables. Tell me, how can music therapy be integrated into counterattack? Hum a song and have a brainstorm. Zhang Min handed over the kitchen knife and opened fire with a smile. Okay. Make fried rice with eggs, add some chopped green onion, like last night. That's it. Mr. Yang, you are so sure. When the crisis comes, our tacit understanding is our weapon. Talking about books on the bookshelf, cooking in the kitchen, and the relationship is warming up. But when Huaxing wants to steal it, we use the AI music module to fight back, giving them a headache when listening to music. Yang Ming hummed the melody of Blue and White Porcelain, with the knife in his hand flying. The sky is blue waiting for misty rain, and I am waiting for you. Zhang Min, this song is like our road, winding but beautiful. Cut it up, come on, stir fry. He came closer, gently held her waist from behind, and taught her how to cook. The intimate movement made the air ambiguous. Zhang Min blushed and her heartbeat was like the sizzling sound of a wok. Mr. Yang, you are so gentle and handsome. The rice is ready, eat it. In a crisis, I am not afraid of you. They sat down and chatted while eating. The aroma of egg-fried rice filled the air, misunderstandings were resolved, and they were as close as honey. Yang Ming brought her some food and whispered, Zhang Min, this is not the end. Huaxing's attack has just begun. The company empire is shaking, and relationships are also facing tests. But I promise to protect you in this feeling. After the meal, they returned to the laboratory, with data flashing on the screen and the shadow of crisis hanging over them. But Zhang Min looked at Yang Ming's side face and was determined, this storm will bring them closer. Su Feng opened the door and came in, bringing new clues. Boss, there is something going on within Huaxing. They want to release a similar product tomorrow. What should we do? Yang Ming shook hands with Zhang Min, his eyes firm. Counterattack. Music therapy, start. Zhang Min, together? She nodded, and the sparks were rekindled, but she didn't know that a bigger wave was about to come. The lights in the laboratory were so bright that it was blinding, and the data stream on the screen poured like a waterfall. Yang Ming's fingers were tapping the keyboard quickly, and his brows were furrowed into the Chinese character Chuan. As soon as Su Feng finished speaking, the entire space fell into battle mode. He turned to look at Zhang Min. Her hand was still held by him, and her palm was warm, which slightly eased his tired anger. The music therapy module will be integrated into the AI framework immediately. Huaxing wants to release it tomorrow? We will lay out bait tonight to let them bite the hook. Yang Ming's voice was deep and powerful, and his domineering aura was like a wall, blocking the wind and rain from the outside world. Zhang Min nodded, her eyes shining with determination. She let go without taking a step back. Mr. Yang, let me calibrate the rhythm algorithm. The inspiration from last night's chili xiang can be used here. Let the music waveform be disguised as a data packet to lure them into digging deeper. She sat in front of the computer next to her and opened the code window skillfully, as neatly as chopping vegetables in her own kitchen. Yang Ming looked at her, and a warm feeling surged in his heart. This woman is not only smart, but also so clingy. In the past, he was used to staying up late alone to deal with the company's crisis, but now, with her here, it feels like there is an extra light and it is no longer so dark. As the night deepens, the neon lights of the city outside the window begin to flash, and the Mingda Technology Building becomes an island. Su Feng brought a few cups of coffee and said with a smile, Boss, Miss Zhang, the tacit understanding between you two is like filming an idol drama. Huaxing thought they had stolen sesame seeds, but we ended up giving them a watermelon. Come on, coffee to refresh you. I just checked their patent application, full of loopholes. Our counterattack plan is guaranteed to make them cry daddy. His humor was like seasoning, which eased the tension in the air. Yang Ming couldn't help but twitch his lips. Su Feng, stop talking, and release the bait email tomorrow morning. Zhang Min laughed out loud, took the coffee and took a sip. Brother Su, you always make people laugh. Mr. Yang, don't tense up and drink something hot. I remember when I was in college, my experimental group stayed up late and always drank coffee and sang to relieve stress. Come on, hum a few lines of Dao Xiang and Jay Chou's line Be Kind to Yourself, which is very exciting. She hummed softly, her voice was soft, like cotton candy. Yang Ming followed and murmured a few words, his shoulders relaxed slightly. The crisis intensified, Huaxing moved faster than expected, and their server detected another probing attack. However, this small episode only made the team more united. At 2 o'clock in the morning, Yang Ming rubbed his temples and his eyes were as red as rabbits. He pushed the chair away and stood up. Zhang Min, you go back and rest first. I'll take care of this. The domineering tone in his words was still there, but his tone was much softer, as if he was coaxing. Zhang Min shook his head and stood up insistently. Mr. Yang, I'm not leaving. You work overtime and I'll accompany you. Isn't that what assistants do? Come on, go to the lounge kitchen. I'll take the initiative to cook and make you a bowl of hot noodle soup. While cooking, we'll talk about the plan to make sure our brainstorming is smoother. She pulled his sleeves, her straightforward eyes refusing to refuse. Yang Ming wanted to refuse, but seeing her stubborn look, he felt soft. Okay. But don't be too late. The company is in crisis, and I can't drag you down. The kitchen in the lounge is small and warm, with yellow lights, like the stove in my hometown. Zhang Min rolled up her sleeves, took out eggs and vegetables from the refrigerator, and boiled water in a familiar manner. Mr. Yang, sit down and take a rest. I'll chop the green onions, and you will talk about the details of the counterattack. When Huaxing's product was launched, we used the music module to make fake data, lured them in, and then reversely implanted the tracking virus. As she spoke, she waved her knife with neat movements, filling the kitchen with the aroma of green onions. Yang Ming leaned against the counter and looked at her busy back. A smile appeared on his tired face. Yes. Su Feng's bait idea is good. We add a layer of music encryption like the melody of blue and white porcelain, hidden in the waveform. When they crack it, the IP is exposed. He walked closer, handed an egg from behind, and touched hers lightly with his shoulder. Zhang Min, where did you learn this skill? It's much better than the company cafeteria. Zhang Min turned around and took the egg with a smile. I learned it from my mother when I was a child. In the old alleys of Shanghai, the neighbors chatted and gossiped while cooking. Mr. Yang, what about you? Overbearing CEO, will you only eat Michelin? Come, help me beat the eggs and mix them into the noodles. Tell me, how did you handle the pressure when you started a business? Cook instant noodles alone, or order takeout? She pushed the bowl to him, her eyes full of curiosity. Yang Ming took it, cracked the eggshell awkwardly, and some of the egg liquid splashed out. He laughed to himself, install noodles and coffee, and stay up until dawn. In the past, I thought that being overbearing could protect the empire, but now, with you by my side, I feel different. Zhang Min, thank you for your persistence. In times of crisis, you didn't run away and made me learn to rely on you. His voice was low and hoarse, and the domineering shell cracked open, revealing the gentleness inside. The water boiled. Zhang Min put in the noodles and stirred the spoon quickly. Dependence? It sounds like growth, Mr. Yang. You look cold on the outside, but your heart is like this soup, warm. Share your thoughts. Let me start by saying, when I was in college, my experiment failed and I was misunderstood by my tutor. Damn it, I cried alone for a long time. Only after I was proven innocent did I realize how precious trust is. Now that the company is in crisis, I believe in you and I want you to believe in me. Come on, the soup is ready. Try it. She handed over the bowl. The soup was filled with egg drop and chopped green onion. It was fragrant. Yang Ming took it, blew on the hot air, and took a sip. It tastes good. Zhang Min, your thoughts? I listened, and I just wanted to protect you. From selecting books on the bookshelf to cooking in the kitchen, our journey, like this noodle, is moderately soft and hard. Hua Xing's attack made me understand. I can no longer carry it alone. They chatted while eating, their knees touching lightly under the table, as close as old lovers. Yang Ming gave her a piece of egg. Eat more. You've lost weight. After taking a walk last night, I wanted to say that your smile looks like moonlight. Zhang Min blushed, but replied bluntly, Mr. Yang, your compliments are so disgusting. But I like it. In times of crisis, relationships become stronger. We are not just partners, we are the kind of people who want to hum songs together. The air became ambiguous. Yang Ming's eyes locked on her lips, and he almost came closer, but footsteps sounded outside the door. Li Juan pushed the door open and came in, shaking her mobile phone in her hand, and said enthusiastically, Oh, are you two having a romantic relationship here? Mr. Yang, Zhang Min, I just heard the news from the marketing department. There was internal gossip about Hua Xing's press conference. Their AI drug module was unstable, and the employees were dizzy and hot during the test. Haha, it's like listening to fake J Cho, the rhythm is messed up. Our counterattack will definitely be able to. It hurts their feet. Min, the soup smells good, I want to take a bite. She came over, took a bite with her chopsticks, and said with a wink, Wow, Mr. Yang, you look so dependable. Don't panic, we are here. I sang The Moon Represents My Heart and the whole crowd was able to resolve it. Yang Ming smiled, adding a calmness to his domineering attitude. Li Juan, thank you for the news. Your enthusiasm is like the company's spice. Sit down and let's brainstorm together. Li Juan sat down and added a relaxed atmosphere. Okay. But Mr. Yang, the look in your and Min's eyes is so sparkling. Hua Xing wants to steal the limelight, so we use music therapy to counterattack and make their products a joke. Zhang Min hugged Li Juan's arm and said, Sister, you always bring good news and make me feel at ease. The three of them chatted warmly, and Yang Ming felt that the pressure was slowly dissipating. Su Feng also broke in at this time, holding the tablet, and said humorously, boss, sisterly Joanne, you are enjoying the entertainment, while I am watching the battlefield outside. Ah, good news. The bait email was sent out, and Huaxing's IP was hooked. Our counterattack was initially successful. They bit the fake data, and now they are having a headache to decrypt the music waveform. It's like listening to Daoxian out of tune, and it's dizzy. He gestured, making everyone laugh. Yang Ming patted him on the shoulder. Su Feng, you did a great job. The crisis has been resolved and we will continue tomorrow. Zhang Min looked at Yang Ming with gentle eyes. Mr. Yang, it's great to witness your growth from working alone to relying on the team. After finishing the noodle soup, they returned to the laboratory. The screen showed that the tracking virus had been implanted into the Huaxing system, and the counterattack was in full swing. Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief and turned to Zhang Min. Thanks to you tonight. She smiled. We have worked together. But at this moment, Su Feng's tablet dinged, and a new alert popped up. Boss, wait. There is an abnormality in the server log. An hour ago, someone accessed the confidential backup from the internal IP. At the time, in Ms. Zhang, it was the same as in the kitchen just now. It's not the outside, it's the inner ghost. The heir suddenly turned pale, and he looked at Zhang Min with a wave of confusion. Zhang Min, did you touch the computer before you went to the kitchen? Li Wan said anxiously. Impossible. Min, please explain. Zhang Min's heart sank, and the intimacy just now flashed through his mind, but now it was a misunderstanding. She looked directly at Yang Ming, her voice trembling but firm. Mr. Yang, I didn't touch it. I didn't even check my phone when we were in the kitchen. It must be a deep attack by Huaxing, disguised from the inside. Do you still believe me? Yang Ming clenched his fists, and he was struggling in his heart. Trust had just been established, but it was facing another test. This bigger misunderstanding is like an undercurrent, pushing them towards the climax. The air in the laboratory seemed to be frozen, and the red alarm light on the screen kept flashing, and every time it hit Yang Ming, it was like knocking on the head. Zhang Min's face was pale. She was still standing there, and the chopsticks in her hand fell to the ground with a crisp sound. Li Juan was the first to react and rushed forward to hug her arm. Mr. Yang, this is definitely a misunderstanding. How could Min do such a thing? She just chatted with me, and her phone never touched the computer. Su Feng frowned and stared at the tablet, muttering, Boss, I'll check the log again, this IP is too weird. Yang Ming said nothing. His eyes were as cold as neon lights in winter. When he glanced at Zhang Min, there was a biting questioning. From selecting books from the bookshelf to cooking noodles in the kitchen, their intimacy was still echoing in their ears, but now, it was like being doused in a basin of cold water. He turned around and his voice was as low as an order. Zhang Min, explain clearly. When was the last time you touched the computer before going to the kitchen? The backup file is encrypted. How do you know the path? His fists turned white, and his heart felt like it was being torn apart. Trust had just been built, why did it collapse? But when the company is facing a crisis, he cannot be soft-hearted, and his domineering instinct makes him build a defensive line first. Zhang Min's eyes were red. She looked directly at him, her voice trembled but she didn't lower her head. Mr. Yang, I swear, I didn't touch it. After I came out of the laboratory, I went straight to the kitchen and pulled your sleeve. You said it yourself, I didn't even look at my phone. It must be Huaxing hackers, disguised as internal IPs, used similar tactics in the last attack. I thought you believed me. Her bluntness was like a knife, piercing her heart. Grief welled up in her eyes, but she bit her lip to hold it back. Li Juan became anxious and slapped the table and said, Mr. Yang, listen. Min has been like this since college. She never shirks the blame for failed experiments. There must be something evil here. There are insiders in our marketing department, and there are more than one spies from Huaxing. Su Feng nodded and quickly typed on the keyboard. Sisterly Joanne is right, I'm tracking now. Boss, don't worry yet. But Yang Ming waved his hand to interrupt. His eyes became colder. Stop all cooperation first. Zhang Min, you go back to the office and wait for the investigation. This is not a personal grudge, the company's safety comes first. His words were like ice picks, piercing Zhang Min's heart. She was stunned for a moment, then turned and left, her back looking stubborn but lonely. The moment the door closed, Yang Ming's heart sank. Why is this happening again? He used to carry it alone, but now there is an extra person, but there is an extra layer of pain. Li Juan glared at him angrily. Mr. Yang, you are too overbearing. Min stayed up late cooking noodles for the company, and you did this to her? Su Feng pulled her back. Sister, don't get too excited. The boss must be struggling internally. I'll go find out. Yang Ming rubbed his brows and sat back in his chair. Check. Huaxing's crisis is not over yet, and this traitor can't stay. But his mind was filled with Zhang Min's aggrieved eyes, like the moonlight last night, now broken. Early the next morning, Mingda Technologies' promotional video shooting started as scheduled. The company hall was converted into a temporary studio. Outside the high-rise building was the bustling traffic of the city. The camera was set up and the lights were dazzling. This is a short film to promote the new AI music therapy module. Yang Ming should have been on camera in person to show off his domineering CEO style. But now, his mood was like a dark cloud. Zhang Min was also called in. As a scientist assistant, she had to explain the algorithm in front of the camera, and the two were forced to cooperate. The director shouted, Mr. Yang, Miss Zhang, come on, take your seats. This is a laboratory interaction, showing the team's tacit understanding. Yang Ming walked into the set, wearing a crisp suit and a stern face. Zhang Min followed behind, wearing light makeup and her eyes were still slightly swollen. She avoided his gaze, lowered her head and adjusted the microphone. Mr. Yang, let's just treat it as a professional cooperation, okay? The film must be shot well, and the company's image cannot be ruined. Her voice was calm, but with a hint of hoarseness, as if she had cried last night. Yang Ming hummed and didn't say much. In front of the camera, he commanded domineeringly, Zhang Min, when talking about algorithms, emphasize the innovation of music waveforms. Don't miss the details. The camera turned, and they stood side by side, explaining how AI used the rhythm of Chili Xiang to disguise data. On the surface, they seemed to have a tacit understanding, but the air was full of tension. Halfway through the filming, the director called out, 10 minutes of rest. Mr. Yang, you two should look closer together, like partners, not strangers. In the rest area beside the set, Zhang Min found a corner to sit down, holding a cup of coffee, her hands shaking slightly. Li Juan came over and handed her a piece of chocolate. Min, eat something sweet to calm down the shock. Mr. Yang must be angry like this. I went home last night and checked some inside information. There is a former employee of Huaxing who has sneaked into our supply chain. Maybe he is the one responsible. Zhang Min smiled bitterly and took a bite of chocolate. Sister, thank you. But he didn't believe me, and he felt cold. From the noodle meal in the kitchen to now. I thought we were growing up, but it turned out that we still misunderstood. Yang Ming was listening not far away, feeling like he was being pricked by needles. He wanted to walk away, but he stopped and felt shaken in his heart. Why didn't he believe her for the first time when she explained so firmly? In the past, he was used to doubting everyone and protecting the empire, but now, this woman made him want to try to trust her. Su Feng ran over at this time, holding the tablet, panting, Boss. Check it out. The internal IP is forged, and the source jumped from Huaxing's VPN. They used social engineering to steal the credentials of an old employee, and the time was right in the kitchen, but it was not Miss Zhang. There is something in the law of the residual code proves that it was an external implant. I stayed up late last night to compare, and I am absolutely innocent. He turned to Zhang Min and shouted, Ms. Zhang, I'm sorry for causing you such injustice. Our counterattack virus has backfired on their system, and now their press conference is in chaos. Zhang Min raised her head and her eyes lit up. Brother Su, really? Thank you. Li Juan jumped up excitedly and hugged her. You see. Min, you are innocent. Mr. Yang, why are you still standing there? Apologize. This misunderstanding is like an old Shanghai opera that only turns when it reaches its climax. She pulled Yang Ming over, as enthusiastic as a matchmaker. Yang Ming looked at Zhang Min, and the ice in his heart began to melt. He walked closer and said in a low voice, "Zhang Min, I was wrong. Crisis makes me confused. I am used to being overbearing. My first reaction is defense. But you have proven yourself from the beginning. I'm sorry." His eyes became gentle, like the hot noodle soup last night. Zhang Min's grievance turned into tears. She wiped her eyes and smiled forcefully. "Mr. Yang, it's okay. After the misunderstanding, I know better. Trust is not about words, it must be tested. I have also grown up. I no longer just complain outright, but also learn to wait for evidence." Li Juan clapped her hands. "Oh, you two are so stupid." Reconciliation, like an idle drama. "Come on, take a rest on the set. Min, sing a song to relieve your stress, like last time in Daoxiang, and be kind to yourself." "Yes. Huaxing is dizzy, I will accompany you." It proves that the tacit understanding is back. The air in the rest area relaxed. Zhang Min took a deep breath and softly hummed the melody of Daoxiang. "Go home, return to the original beauty." Her voice was soft, with the charm of a Shanghai accent, like the wind of an old alley. Yang Ming followed, murmured a few words, and lightly touched hers with his shoulder. "Don't tire yourself so much." Su Feng and Li Juan also joined in the fun, and Li Juan sang out of tune, making everyone laugh. Music is like a bridge, and tacit understanding is restored. Yang Ming's protective desire surges up, and he holds her hand. "Zhang Min, we will bear this crisis together. From the set to the next experiment, I have learned to trust you." Zhang Min nodded, with firm eyes. "Well, I am stronger. I am not afraid of misunderstandings, I am just afraid of not singing together." The set reopened and the camera caught their eyes, sparks flying. The director exclaimed, "Perfect. This tacit understanding is amazing." After filming the promotional video, Su Feng reported the good news. Huaxing's product release was delayed, their AI module collapsed, and the counterattack successfully resolved part of the crisis. The atmosphere in the company became warm, and Li Juan asked Zhang Min to gossip. Min, when Mr. Yang apologized, he was so gentle and cool. "I will support you next time in a crisis." Zhang Min smiled. "Sister, thank you. With you, I am not afraid." Yang Ming sent her back to the office. He stopped by the window and looked at the city lights. "Zhang Min, last night's misunderstanding made me reflect. I used to be alone, but now, with you, I have changed. Trust is not a weakness, but a strength." She leaned on his shoulder and whispered, "Mr. Yang, I am the same. Stronger, for us." Their shadows lengthened, the shadow of the crisis faded, and their feelings were like music, which became deeper after testing. But Su Feng's phone rang. "Boss, Huaxing is determined not to give up. A new wave of attacks is coming. This time it's targeting the promotional video data." Yang Ming shook Ning Min's hand with a firm look in his eyes. "Let's deal with it together." Yang Ming's hand was still holding Zhang Min's. Su Feng's voice on the other end of the phone was as urgent as an ambulance in the city. "Boss, Huaxing is really serious this time. They hacked the cloud backup of the promotional video and encrypted the data. This video will be used in the press conference tomorrow. Now it's all messed up. The IP jumped 3 proxies and it was hard to catch up." Yang Ming frowned and turned to look at Zhang Min. Her eyes were shining with the determination she had just regained, like stars in the night. He took a deep breath, and there was a hint of gentleness in his domineering tone. "Su Feng, hold on. First block all external access. Zhang Min and I will return to the company immediately. Let Li Juan join us and start a brainstorm. This time, we not only defend, we have to fight back." Zhang Min nodded and did not let go of his hand. "Mr. Yang, I have an idea. The AI music module in the promotional video was originally our strength. Huaxing wants to steal the algorithm logic. We can use rhythm disguise and implant antivirus, just like last time, but an upgraded version. Let's go, don't let them succeed. Her voice was straightforward, with the blood of the laboratory, and Yang Ming felt warm in his heart. This woman climbed out of the misunderstanding and became stronger. They quickly left the window. In the elevator, he whispered, "Zhang Min, thank you. The apology just now is not enough. When this is over, I will treat you to a serious meal to make up for the cold noodles last night." The company building was brightly lit, and the crisis was pressing down again like a dark cloud. Su Feng was waiting in the conference room, with a tablet full of code, while Li Juan was holding a cup of coffee, the enthusiasm on her face undiminished. "Mr. Yang, Min, you are here. This Huaxing is like Chen Shimi from Shanghai. He robbed us and wanted to destroy our family." Su Feng said that their attack was aimed at the music therapy section, specifically stuck on the waveform conversion of Daoxiang. Yang Ming sat down and knocked on the table. Let's get to the point. Zhang Min, let's talk about your idea first." Zhang Min took a deep breath and quickly drew a flow chart on the projection screen. "We transferred the promotional video data to the internal server and used AI to generate fake rhythms to lure them into biting the hook. Then, we reversed their vulnerabilities. The key is to combine the biofeedback module to let the virus infect their entire system like a music virus." Su Feng's eyes lit up and he typed on the keyboard, "Genius. This is much worse than the last IP tracking. I will coordinate IT resources and transfer 10 high-performance servers. Li Juan, your marketing department is keeping an eye on the publicity and don't let the news leak out." Li Juan blinked and said with a smile, "Okay. But Mr. Yang, you two have a tacit understanding on the set. The filming was like an idle drama. Is it still sweet in the crisis? Min, tell me, did your heart beat faster when Mr. Yang shook hands just now?" Zhang Min blushed and glared at her. "Sister, don't make trouble. It's the peak of the crisis." But she couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth. Li Juan's gossip could always hit the pressure point and make the air loose. Yang Ming didn't refute, just glanced at Zhang Min. The protectiveness in his eyes was like a warm current. He stood up. "Let's go to the library. Brainstorming requires a quiet place, not this messy conference room. Zhang Min, bring a notebook, and we will think about it while choosing books. For Huaxing's conspiracy, we will find inspiration from their patent books." Zhang Min was stunned for a moment. Nodded, "Good idea. The library has a biotechnology section. I reviewed similar cases there last time." The group of them moved to the Science and Technology Library affiliated to the company, an oasis between high-rise buildings, with numerous bookshelves and the smell of paper and coffee filling the air. Li Juan shared interesting anecdotes while walking. "Oh, speaking of crisis, during my last market research, I met a customer who was as insidious as Huaxing and insisted on lowering the price. As a result, I told an old Shanghai story. The weasel greets the rooster for the new year, which made him laugh and negotiated a big deal. Min, don't be too nervous. When you are under pressure, think about having fun." Su Feng laughed and pushed open the library door. "Sister Li Juan, your humor therapy is more effective than our AI. I'm going to the logistics to adjust the equipment now. You guys storm first." He slipped away, leaving Yang Ming, Zhang Min and Li Juan among the bookshelves. Yang Ming led the way to the area where AI and music intersected. His tall figure was elongated under the light. He casually pulled out a copy of Application of Rhythm Algorithm in Data Security and handed it to Zhang Min. "Look at this page. Huaxing's last patent vulnerability is right here. They ignored the randomness of biological waveforms. Our idea just makes up for it." Zhang Min took it. The book, her eyes lit up, and she sat down against the bookshelf. "Mr. Yang, are you so familiar with science? I used to think that you were only responsible for the business empire, but I didn't expect that we could have such an in-depth conversation when selecting books on the bookshelf." She opened the book and wrote quickly on her notebook. "Yes, we use the harmony of Qili Xiang to generate dynamic encryption. It is not a static defense, it is living, like a heartbeat." Yang Ming knelt down and stood side by side with her, touching her shoulders lightly. "I majored in AI in college. I originally wanted to be a scientist, but later switched to business, Jian Da. When I met you, I remembered that passion. His voice was low, with rare candor, and the silence of the library made the conversation feel like a private confession. Zhang Min raised his head, and the romantic spark in his eyes reappeared. Mr. Yang, you appreciate my talent, which warms my heart. From the sparks in the laboratory to the current crisis, I thought I was just an assistant. Unexpectedly, we are growing together. Yang Ming's hand covered hers and held it gently. Zhang Min, your idea is not only the key, but also the savior. You did not back down at the peak of the company's crisis, which makes me trust you more. From being a domineering president to now, I have learned to rely on you. Thank you. Li Juan pretended to flip through a book not far away and couldn't help but interrupt. Oh, this in-depth conversation between you two is as romantic as a romance novel. Mr. Yang, I have witnessed Minmin's talent shine since college. Her straightforwardness is a perfect match for your gentle and domineering attitude. She leaned closer and whispered, I want to share an interesting story. Last week I went to the bund to relax. When I met an old classmate and talked about workplace love, he said that the crisis is a test, and it will be sweet after it passes. Min, don't worry, Hua Xing's conspiracy will be revealed sooner or later. Her words were like sunshine, which relieved the pressure on the bookshelf. Zhang Min laughed out loud. Sister, you can always make me laugh. Come on, help me think about the turning point of this algorithm. The brainstorm lasted for half an hour. Su Feng came back, holding the server accessories in his hand. Resources are adjusted. Boss, Miss Zhang, I have simulated your plan, and the success rate is 85%. Now go back to the laboratory for implantation. Yang Ming stood up and nodded. Let's go. But first, rest and eat something. Zhang Min, I am under great pressure and cannot do it on an empty stomach. They turned to the rest area attached to the library. In the small kitchen, Zhang Min took out the ingredients in a familiar manner. I'll cook simple fried rice with Shanghainese side dishes. Mr. Yang, will you chop the onions? Yang Ming rolled up his sleeves, revealing his strong forearms, and took the knife domineeringly. Okay. But this time, I not only cut, but also learned to take the initiative. The misunderstanding last night and the remaining embarrassment, let me make it clear, I have never doubted your heart, I am only afraid that the company will drag you down. Zhang Min lit the fire and the frying pan sizzled. She turned to look at him with soft eyes. Mr. Yang, it's okay. That misunderstanding made me grow up. I am no longer just straightforward and impulsive, and I learned to wait for you to open up. Add some egg drop to the fried rice. Just like our relationship, it is delicious when mixed together. Li Juan leaned against the door and snickered. The intimate interaction between the two of you, the kitchen becomes a date scene. Su Feng, come to help, let me share an interesting life story. My family cooked rice to coax me, but it was burnt. Mr. Yang, learn from it. Su Feng took the bowl and said humorously, Sister Li Juan, are you teaching the domineering president to fall in love? Boss, the fried rice is ready, let's eat. The aroma of rice filled the air and everyone sat around the table. Zhang Min gave Yang Ming a piece of egg and said, try it to resolve the misunderstanding. He ate it with gentle eyes, sweet. Zhang Min, this meal is more healing than humming on the set. Li Juan ate a big meal and said while chewing, yes. Interesting things in life are like this, danger. Add some fireworks to the machine. I remember when I was young, my grandfather said, the boat will be straight at the end of the bridge. What does Hua Xing mean? We are Mingda, and we are invincible. Su Feng nodded. The virus has been implanted, and their system is starting to collapse. There is chaos inside Hua Xing. At this moment, Su Feng's tablet rang an alarm. It was not bad news, but a signal of victory, boss. The conspiracy has been exposed. Our counterattack captured their leader's IP and pointed it directly at Hua Xing's chief engineer. He used his identity as a mole to steal the old credentials, and now he has all the evidence. The police have intervened and their press conference has been cancelled. The product has been delayed for half a year. Yang Ming slammed his fist on the table with relief. Well done. Zhang Min, your idea is the key. we won this counterattack. Zhang Min's eyes were wet, and he squeezed his hand. Mr. Yang, it's not me, it's the team. The crisis is over, and the stone in my heart has fallen. Li Juan jumped up and hugged Zhang Min. Min, congratulations. This turning point is like the neon lights in Shanghai, shining brightly. Su Feng smiled. Yes, boss, the promotional video is now safe, and it will be released tomorrow with great success. Mr. Yang, has the relationship between you and Miss Zhang been repaired? Have you taken a step forward in your relationship and confirmed your feelings? Yang Ming looked at Zhang Min and said, her voice was low but firm, yes. Zhang Min, from the bookshelf to the kitchen, I fell in love with your talent and strength all the way. After the crisis test, I not only trust you, but also want to walk together. Zhang Min blushed, her heart beating like a rhythm. Mr. Yang, me too. The misunderstanding has been resolved, and we are closer. Feelings are not about words, but actions. The lights in the library are soft, their shadows overlap, and the romantic atmosphere flows like music. Su Feng and Li Juan stepped away wisely, leaving some space. Yang Ming kissed her forehead gently. Get some rest and celebrate tomorrow. But there may be some small tricks in the aftermath of Huaxing. Zhang Min leaned in his arms. We will face it together. I'm ready. The peak of the crisis passed, and the plot reached its climax like an accelerating melody. In the rest area of the library, the smell of rice had not yet dissipated. Yang Ming looked at Zhang Min's side face, and the warmth in his heart flowed slowly like the Huangpu River in Shanghai. He gently let go of her hand and stood up. Zhang Min, the crisis is over, but the project still needs to be completed. There will be an internal event tomorrow to celebrate the safety of the promotional video. Will you come? Just treat it as a small victory party. Zhang Min blinked and couldn't hide her smile. Mr. Yang, of course. The team is here, come on, it's better to be lively. But does your invitation sound like a private date? Yang Ming raised his eyebrows and said, private? It depends on whether you agree. After the evening, I will take you for a leisurely dinner to make up for the neglect last night. When Li Juan heard this, her eyes were as bright as neon lights, and she patted Zhang Min on the shoulder. Oh, Min, this is the official date signal. Mr. Yang, the Domineering CEO mode has been upgraded with gentle blessings. I give you full marks. Su Feng put away the tablet and shook his head humorously. Boss, you used to just hold meetings during the crisis, but now you plan to have a midnight snack? The change is so big, I even doubt it. It's not because of Miss Zhang's love virus. Yang Ming glared at him, but he was not angry. Su Feng, don't talk too much. How is the resource allocation? Don't let Huaxing make a comeback. Su Feng immediately said seriously, Boss, the IT team has been arrested, and the police evidence is solid. The promotional video will be online tomorrow, and Sister Li Juan from the marketing department has been preheated. When everyone dispersed, it was already dark. The lights of the company building reflected the night. Yang Ming sent Zhang Min to the elevator and whispered, go to bed early. See you at tomorrow's event. Zhang Min nodded, her heartbeat still racing. Yes, Mr. Yang. Good night. As she entered the elevator, Li Juan came up to her and whispered excitedly, Min, Mr. Yang's eyes are definitely in love with her. You! After the crisis was resolved, I witnessed the happiness coming. Tell me, did you feel happy about the handshake just now? Zhang Min blushed and pushed her. Yes, he has grown up, and I am no longer just blunt and impulsive. The next day, the company's internal activity hall was bustling. The crisis in the promotional video was resolved, the team celebrated a little, Li Juan's marketing department brought in speakers and projections, and the sweet smell of coffee and cake floated in the air. Yang Ming was wearing a casual shirt and was less serious than usual. He stood on the stage and tapped the microphone. Thank you for your hard work. Huaxing's conspiracy was broken, and tomorrow's press conference will be a success. This is a victory for the team, especially Zhang Min and Su Feng's idea, which saved the day. The audience burst into applause. Zhang Min sat in the front row, and Su Feng blinked next to her. Ms. Zhang, your fight against the virus is like Jay Chou's song, with a catchy rhythm. The way the boss looks at you now is so sweet. The event entered the interactive stage, and Lijuan jumped onto the stage excitedly. Come on, don't just talk but don't practice. The promotional video has elements of music therapy. Let's hum a section to continue the feeling on the set. Mr. Yang, Zhang Min, you two lead the singing of Dao Xiang. The biofeedback melody is a perfect match. Zhang Min was stunned, but Yang Ming walked over generously and pulled her on stage. Okay, just celebrate. Zhang Min, come on. The familiar prelude sounded from the sound system, and the team hummed along. Yang Ming's deep voice started. I love this land deeply, and I remember my dreams when I was a child. When I grew up, I always forgot about simplicity. His voice was not professional, but the gentleness in his domineering voice was like the breeze blowing on his face, which made Zhang Min feel soft. She answered, with a smile in her lively voice, it's so simple, live like this all the time, and live the most comfortable life. Their eyes met, and during the humming, Lijuan in the audience screamed, it's so sweet. Min, your tacit understanding will continue on the set, and the romance will be overwhelming. Su Feng laughed in the audience, turned to Lijuan and said, Sister Lijuan, look at the boss, he used to be cold-faced during meetings, but now he blinks when humming. It's all thanks to Miss Zhang. I have to tease him for the big change. Lijuan nodded. Excitedly he pulled Zhang Min's arm and waited for her to come off the stage. Min, happy witness. Has Mr. Yang confessed to you in prototype? That look in his eyes makes no difference when he says I love you. Sister, I tell you, the last time my wife sang a song to propose marriage, it was just like this. After Min stepped off the stage, her cheeks were hot, and she leaned against Yang Ming and whispered, Mr. Yang, you sang so beautifully. After the crisis, this humming seems to express your heart. Yang Ming held her hand, domineering but gentle. Zhang Min, this is not just a song. I want to tell you that from the laboratory to the set, your talent opened up to me. When I started my business, I carried Mingdao by myself. From the AI dream to the commercial battlefield, I always felt lonely. Only when I met you did I know the warmth of dependence. The team dispersed for a rest, and Zhang Min pulled Yang Ming to a corner and shared his thoughts. Mr. Yang, so am I. I used to be an assistant and only focused on experimental data. I was as straightforward as a Shanghai alley girl. I was impulsive and refused to listen to explanations. That night of the misunderstanding, I thought it was over, but I learned to grow in the crisis, not only your talent, but also your pressure. In the music therapy project, I learned from biowaves the shape alignment, and counterattacking the algorithm now, are all due to our complementarity. Your opening of your entrepreneurial story has made me love this job even more. Yang Ming's eyes were affectionate, and he leaned into her ear. Zhang Min, your growth is more and more in line with ours. Let's go to the Bund tonight for a private date. I will formally express my feelings to you. Lijuan and Su Feng wisely stayed away. Su Feng came over with coffee and teased Yang Ming. Boss, you have changed so obviously after humming. In the past, you only made decisions, but now you are planning dates? My friend, I would like to advise you to turn on the sweet pet mode and don't let Miss Zhang wait. Yang Ming laughed and scolded, Su Feng, your assistant is acting like a matchmaker. Pay attention to the market feedback, and don't miss the aftermath of washing. Lijuan approached Zhang Min and blinked. Min, my best friend, this interaction between you two is so romantic. Let me share an interesting story. When I was a child, I heard my grandfather say, the red thread of Yulao is pulled, and the crisis becomes sweet. I am so excited. After the event, they moved to the laboratory. At the end of the project, Zhang Min and Yang Ming checked the final data, and Lijuan and Su Feng followed up. On the projection screen, the AI music module flashed green, and the small-scale test was successful, the biofeedback waveform was stable, and the drug development idea was formed. Zhang Min typed the keyboard excitedly, Mr. Yang, look. This small success heralds a big breakthrough. The rhythm algorithm has been upgraded, washing cannot steal it, and our therapy can help more people. Yang Ming nodded and touched hers with his shoulder, yes. Your sharing reminds me of my entrepreneurial mindset. When I graduated from A in college when I started, I wrote code alone until dawn. But now, with you, I am not alone. Su Feng interrupted, Boss, the data is perfect. The investors are lining up. Ms. Zhang, your growth from assistant to partner is amazing. Li Juan clapped her hands, that's great. The experiment is a success, and the sweet pet atmosphere is perfect. Min, come on for the date tonight, sister, I'll wait for the good news. Zhang Min looked at Yang Ming with a smile, full of expectation. Yang Ming whispered, let's go, private time. The lights on the bond are waiting for us to sing the next song. The lights in the laboratory reflected their shadows, and the melody continued. The success of the project was close at hand, and the intentions were about to be confirmed. The door of the laboratory was gently closed, and Zhang Min and Yang Ming walked out of the building side by side. The night wind blew from the Huangpu River, mixed with a faint salty smell. The street lights lengthened their shadows, and Yang Ming's hand naturally took hers, with a hint of caution in his domineering tone. Zhang Min, the project is a success, and tomorrow's press conference will be the big show. But tonight, it's just our time. Let's take a walk on the bund, and then celebrate in my kitchen. Last time you said you wanted to try my French fried steak as a private party. Zhang Min felt warm in her heart. Looking sideways at him, the light reflected his usually stern face, which was now as soft as a river. Mr. Yang, I can't keep up with your transformation from domineering to considerate. Okay, let's celebrate. But, talk about books on the way? When I was on the bookshelf last time, you picked The Future of AI. After I read it, I always felt that our therapy project was like a prophecy in the book. Yang Ming smiled and drove towards the bund. Good idea. Remember? When we first met in the lab, you bluntly criticized my algorithm loophole. I was so angry that I wanted to fire you, but I admired your brain. On the bookshelf, we talked about professional discussions and entrepreneurial dreams, and I realized that being overbearing is not omnipotent. I have to listen to your opinion. The car stopped at the bund pier, and they got out of the car for a walk. The river breeze blew in their faces, and the Oriental Pearl Tower shone like stars in the distance. Zhang Min held his arm and said lively, yes, I used to only care about data. I misunderstood that night and thought you didn't trust me, so I cried like a child. But during the crisis, you held my hand and said, we will carry it together, and I realized that growth is not carried by one person. In the book, AI helps people find their inner rhythm, just like us, from collision to coordination. As they were walking and chatting, Yang Ming stopped and turned to face her. Zhang Min, did you know? When Mingda started my business, I stayed up late writing code alone. I refused all romantic suggestions from investors and only believed in data. But when I met you, from the laboratory to the set, your straightforwardness impressed me. Let me learn to be open. The domineering president must also learn to say thank you. Zhang Min blinked and smiled. Mr. Yang, your reflection sounds like a growth diary. Come on, it's cold by the river. Don't catch a cold. Returning to Yang Ming's apartment, the kitchen light was warm and yellow. He rolled up his sleeves and cut the steak skillfully. Zhang Min leaned against the counter and handed out the seasonings. Mr. Yang, the interaction in the kitchen is more intimate than in the laboratory. Last time you cooked porridge to coax me, and now you are frying steak to celebrate. It feels like home cooking in an old Shanghai alley. Yang Ming continued. Nodding, eyes affectionate, yes, this is my little secret. I used to be busy in the company and never touched the kitchen, but because of you, I learned it. I remember after the bookshelf discussion, we cooked together for the first time. You said, scientists also need to be down to earth, and I listened. The steak is ready, and we will pair it with red wine to celebrate our breakthrough. When the plate was brought to the table, the steak was sizzling with oil and fragrant. Zhang Min took a bite and her eyes lit up. Wow, Mr. Yang, your craftsmanship is amazing. The crisis is resolved, the green light of the experiment flashes, and I am full of confidence. From assistant to partner, I am no longer just straightforward and impulsive, I have learned to read your pressure. Yang Ming raised his glass and touched hers. Zhang Min, thank you. Smart AI music therapy will be released tomorrow, all thanks to your algorithm calibration. Huaxing's conspiracy was broken, not by me alone, but by our team, especially you. They chatted while eating, looking back on the journey, from the in-depth debate on book selection on the bookshelf, to the warmth of cooking porridge in the kitchen, to the tacit understanding of singing on the set. Yang Ming whispered, in those days, I changed from domineering to considerate, all because of you. When I was lonely and starting a business, I never thought that there would be such a person for me to rely on. The doorbell rang suddenly. Yang Ming frowned and went to open the door, only to see Li Juan and Su Feng standing outside the door with smiles on their faces, holding cakes and balloons in their hands. Li Juan blinked. Mr. Yang, Min. We heard about the little celebration and couldn't help but come to join in the fun. Su Feng said that the romantic surprise should be extravagant. My best friend and assistant will join forces to push the progress of you two. Su Feng held the projector and shook his head humorously. Boss, don't glare at me. The team cannot be absent when the crisis is won. We brought the sound system and hummed the sequel version of Daoxiang with your review video. I cut it, and I guarantee it will be sweet. Yang Ming wanted to refuse, but seeing Zhang Min's excitement, he had no choice but to smile. You two are matchmakers, okay. Come in, but don't make it too late. The living room was instantly lively. Li Juan lit the candles, and the cake read breakthrough sweetness. Zhang Min looked at the screen with red eyes. Li Juan, Su Feng, your surprise is so heartwarming. In the past, I only focused on experiments, but now looking at these, the growth is so obvious. Mr. Yang, our journey, like this video, is both sweet and challenging. The music started, and the prelude of Daoxiang was gentle. Yang Ming pulled Zhang Min to stand up, and hugged her waist domineeringly but tenderly. Come on, hum. Li Juan, Su Feng, you two sing along. His voice was low. I love this land deeply. Zhang Min took over, and his voice was confident. I think of my childhood dreams. When I grow up, I always forget simplicity. Li Juan and Su Feng hummed along, and Li Juan clapped her hands excitedly. Oh, you two have such a tacit understanding. It's an upgraded version of the studio. Min, look at Mr. Yang's eyes. It's time to confess. My best friend advises, the crisis is resolved, don't hide your feelings. Su Feng teased, boss, you used to be cold-faced in meetings, but now you hug your waist while humming? It has changed a lot. I give Miss Zhang a thumbs up. She has made you go from domineering to considerate, and the team has witnessed it. While humming, the climax comes. The screen cuts to the latest data from the experiment. The AI module is all green, the biofeedback waveform is perfect and stable, and the drug development blueprint is taking shape. Yang Ming stopped singing and turned to face Zhang Min. The whole audience was silent. He took a deep breath and said in a firm voice, Zhang Min, I will publicly thank you at tomorrow's press conference. You are not just an assistant, you are my partner, my lover. From the bookshelf to the kitchen to this set-like living room, we reviewed everything, misunderstandings, crises, breakthroughs. All resolved. Because of you, I learned not only to lead, but also to love. Marry me, okay? Zhang Min was stunned, and then smiled confidently, with tears in his eyes. Mr. Yang Ming, I have been waiting for this for a long time. In the past, I was as straightforward as an alley, and I was impulsive and refused to listen to explanations. But with you, from experimenting to humming, I have grown up. I understand your loneliness, and I dare to say what I mean. Let's sing the workplace love song together. Li Juan screamed and hugged Zhang Min. Min, you are so happy. My best friend witnessed it. The romantic surprise was a success. Su Feng patted Yang Ming on the shoulder. Boss, congratulations. From crisis to confession, you have grown so much and inspired. In the living room, laughter and applause intertwined, the cake was cut, and red wine was poured. Yang Ming hugged Zhang Min and whispered, Zhang Min, after the release tomorrow, our future will be so successful. She leaned on his shoulder, her heart full of satisfaction, and the river breeze blew in from the window, continuing their sweetness like a melody. The laughter in the living room gradually subsided, the red wine glasses clinked gently, and the scent of cake and cream still filled the air. Zhang Min leaned on Yang Ming's shoulder, listening to the whisper of the river breeze outside the window, and felt warm in his heart as if he were soaking in a hot spring. Li Juan wiped the corners of her eyes and held Su Feng's hand excitedly. "Oh, this proposal scene is even sweeter than the idle drama on the set. Min, you two have to be more high-profile at the press conference tomorrow. The team is waiting to see it." Su Feng nodded and teased, "Yes, boss, you used to have a cold face in meetings, now you are so cold. Miss Zhang deserves a lot of credit. The video I cut will be replayed at the party tomorrow, and it will be a sensation in the whole company." Yang Ming chuckled and hugged Zhang Min. "Okay, Zhang Min, we'll be here tonight. Let's go to the company and start from the beginning." Late at night, Li Juan and Su Feng reluctantly left, and the apartment returned to peace. Zhang Min and Yang Ming stood side by side on the balcony, overlooking the lights of the Huangpu River. Yang Ming whispered, "Zhang Min, thank you for agreeing. From the first glance in the laboratory, I knew that you were more than just an assistant." She turned her head, her eyes bright. "Yang Ming, me too. From being straightforward and impulsive to now daring to speak my mind, it's all because of your teachings. Go to sleep, tomorrow is the big day." Early the next morning, the sun shone into the Mingda Technology Building, and the press conference venue was already packed with media and investors. Yang Ming was standing on the stage in a crisp suit. The latest data on AI music therapy flashed on the projection screen. The biofeedback waveform was as stable as a pendulum, and the drug development simulation diagram showed unprecedented accuracy. In the audience, Zhang Min was sitting in the front row, with Li Juan and Su Feng beside her. Li Juan whispered excitedly, Min, look at how confident Mr. Yang is. After proposing last night, his aura has become gentler." Su Feng nodded, "Yes, the crisis has been resolved. This project not only saved the company, but also saved the boss's heart." Yang Ming cleared his throat and said in a steady voice, "Everyone, thank you for coming to Mingda's AI Music Therapy Conference. This is not a victory for one person, but the crystallization of the team. Especially my assistant, Zhang Min." He turned to look at her, his eyes full of tenderness. "When we first met in the laboratory, she pointed out loopholes in the algorithm straightforwardly, allowing me to lead from a domineering leader. Guide, learn to listen. On the bookshelf, we chose books and talked about dreams, and I discovered that science is not only about data, but also about the rhythm of my heart. In the kitchen, I cooked porridge and fried steak, and I became a coaxing man. During the break on the set, she sang Daoxiang and I understood that innovation requires tacit understanding, not orders." There were flashes of light under the stage, and Zhang Min blushed, but smiled confidently. Yang Ming continued, "When the crisis hit, Huaxing's conspiracy almost ruined everything. But Zhang Min and I fought back side by side. From data investigation to IP tracking, we resolved misunderstandings and proved that love, like science, requires trust. Today, this therapy is a great success. The AI module is fully greenlighted, and music rhythm-assisted drug development will help countless patients find inner peace. Zhang Min, thank you for letting me grow." He walked off the stage, held her hand, and the audience burst into applause. Li Juan wiped away her tears. "It's so romantic. My best friend has witnessed that you have transformed from assistant to soulmate, Min." Su Feng clapped his hands. "Boss, this public confession is amazing. The team is proud of you." After the press conference ended, the media swarmed in for interviews. Yang Ming escorted Zhang Min out of the venue and went straight to the banquet hall on the top floor of the company. The company celebration party is ready, with ribbons flying, champagne towers shining, and employees raising glasses and cheering. Li Juan pulled Zhang Min into the door. Min, come on, change into a dress. The theme of the party is Sweet Breakthrough, and you two are the protagonists." Zhang Min put on a light blue dress, while Yang Ming wore a dark shirt and a loose tie, which made him less serious. Su Feng came over with a tray and said humorously, "Boss, last night's proposal was a private one. How about a formal one at the party today?" The whole company will witness it, and it is guaranteed to cause a sensation in Shanghai's technology circle. Yang Ming smiled. You kid, you always like to join in the fun. Okay, I'll listen to you. The party is lively, the music is lively, and employees are chatting around the buffet table. Yang Ming pulled Zhang Min to the central dance floor, where the lights shone softly. He took a deep breath, knelt down on one knee, and took out the diamond ring from his pocket. He had prepared it for the proposal last night. It was simple but sparkling. Zhang Min, from the sparks in the laboratory to the in-depth conversations about selecting books on the bookshelf, we talked about the future of AI and the loneliness of starting a business. I learned to open my heart from a cold CEO. In the kitchen, you taught me to be down to earth, and the laughter while cooking porridge made me understand that gentleness is not a weakness. When you sing music on the set, your voice melts my defenses. It's all because of you. In the crisis, we worked together to overcome misunderstandings and conspiracies. I grew up. I no longer just believe in data, but also in love. Today, the experiment is successful, the company celebrates, and I formally propose. Marry me and write this workplace love song together, okay? There was a moment of silence, then applause and screams. Tears flashed in Zhang Min's eyes, but she smiled brightly. Yang Ming, I agree. In the past, I was just experimenting, as straightforward as the Huangpu River, impulsive and refused to listen to explanations. But with you, from the bookshelf debate to the intimacy in the kitchen, from the tacit understanding on the set to the crisis, transformation, from assistant to partner, learn to read your pressure and dare to embrace your heart. Our journey, like this party, is sweet and full of tests, and now it is complete. She stretched out her hand, and Yang Ming gently put on the ring, stood up and kissed her. The employees cheered, and Li Juan rushed up and hugged Zhang Min. Min, you are so happy. My bestie, I have watched from beginning to end, you two have grown so much, so inspiring. I remember when we were playing in the alley when we were young, we said we wanted to find a reliable man, and Mr. Yang exceeded the standard. Su Feng patted Yang Ming on the back. Boss, congratulations. From the crisis investigation to this moment, my assistant has witnessed your transformation. From domineering to considerate, the team has benefited. Come on, cheers to the future. The party continued, and Yang Ming and Zhang Min were surrounded by everyone, sharing memories. When an employee asked about their first meeting in the laboratory, Yang Ming smiled and replied, she criticized my algorithm, and I was so angry that I wanted to fire her, but it turned out to be a spark. Zhang Min responded, yeah, I thought the president was aloof, but I didn't expect that his eyes were so serious when picking books on the bookshelf. Halfway through the conversation, he changed from a professional to a personal dream. Li Juan interrupted. Mouth, in the kitchen, I heard Min say that Mr. Yang's skill in cooking steaks is better than Michelin. In times of crisis, the two of you cook porridge to calm down the pressure, which is so sweet. Su Feng joked, the most classic humming on the set, Dao Xiang became your exclusive BGM. From misunderstanding to marriage proposal, it was all fueled by the team. The music turned to slow dance, and Yang Ming held Zhang Min's hand and twirled on the dance floor. The employees gathered around and the atmosphere was as warm as a family dinner. He whispered, Zhang Min, all this is like the neon lights in Shanghai, flashing but real. The experiment is successful, the company is stable, and our love is also stable. She leaned on his chest. Well, I only loved data before, but now I love you more. As I grow up, I feel like an upgraded algorithm, more accurate. Li Juan and Su Feng were dancing next to each other, and Li Juan shouted, don't show off, let's come too. Friendly blessings, always support. Su Feng smiled, yes, the next stop is the Bund? Boss, remember to take us as light bulbs. As night fell and the party ended, Yang Ming and Zhang Min walked out of the building hand in hand. By the Huangpu River, the lights were still on, and they stopped. Yang Ming turned around with a firm look in his eyes. Zhang Min, let's innovate together in the future. Mingda's AI therapy is just the beginning. I promise not to be overbearing, but to be your backing, and to pursue the scientific dream together. Zhang Min smiled and hugged him. Yang Ming, I embrace this love. From assistant to partner, I am ready. The sweetheart of the workplace, our song is still singing. The river breeze blew, mixed with the aftertaste of music, and their shadows merged into one, composing eternal perfection.